Okay. Alright, we're live. Let me make sure my mic is good. Because I'm paranoid about this now. Great. Okay. Who wants to do a recap of our really short session last week?
Rick did a autopsy along with Toad. I guess like a biopsy.
Yeah, we learned a lot of things about about these particular creatures.
Yep. No, they got no dick.
True, they were born that way. This one in particular was like 500 or more years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Either they're just like full Kendall or it's in a place that we don't know about.
Yeah. They seem to reproduce in ways that are not like mammals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really the equipment down there to do it,
Mm-hmm.
which is super important. I'm glad we learned that.
The most
More
important
importantly-
thing you learned last session.
Yes, exactly. we can't fuck them. Damn it.
Damn it.
Cannon Baldur's Gate.
Can you
Yeah,
really?
that's true.
I'm sorry.
You can.
Wait, really?
You certainly
Yeah.
can.
Oh my god. That is not canon that I researched in Baldur's Gate. So there's a reason that my world is different. Because if I had said, yeah, they're just like Baldur's Gate, then you guys would have been like, oh, fuckable. Cool.
Yeah.
That's why I put that picture in memes channel.
Good to know. Maybe I should play Baldur's Gate again. Understanding the references you guys make.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
And I have it. It's sitting in my Steam library. I've played like 1 hour of it. Just never. We'll get there. We'll get there. Okay.
All
right.
Aside from the autopsy, did we do much else?
Signy looked at the stars.
That's
from
right.
Her recording, and so we know where these beings are, and also there were ships with weapons pointed at the planet.
Pointed at them, which is weird.
Yeah,
And the planet was Larvion?
Larvion. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys examining the crystal to get a sense of the like what was what that one creature. I guess we're not using the phrase illithid at the moment.
You guys don't know the name of the creature yet.
Yeah, we don't know the name.
Yeah.
We should come up with one.
Mm-hmm.
Tentacle monster.
In media res. All right, Rick's washing off his hands of goop. We wouldn't call these guys anyway.
We should call them tentacle monsters. I think that would be really easy for Valerian to remember.
Okay, it's kind of. I mean, there's a lot of things with tentacles out there.
Space tentacle monster.
Maybe FTM.
Call it FTM.
Cephalid.
I don't know.
Monster.
There's also cephalids.
Oh yeah, there you
If
go.
you want to invoke other tentacular creatures.
I like that. It sounds more scientific.
Mhm.
Let's call him an
Oh.
octopus.
Yeah, it's more squid-like though.
Well,
Human squid.
I'm good with any name, so whatever you think is best.
I like cephalid. We'll call them cephalids.
Cephalids.
I'm gonna call him dead though. So.
Yeah. Well, his name was Trell. His name was Trell. His name was Trell.
I'm so glad I get that reference.
Okay.
So.
Name resolved.
Robert Paulson.
Yeah. You guys don't watch Fight Club? Come on.
Come on.
It's such a long time, yeah.
Okay. So,
And we also decided that we were going to take his body, Trell's body, and we're going to go to the Martivira. That's where we're headed now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To maybe try to show some favor. You need to make sure that ring is in effect whenever we're getting close, at least, and maybe we'll be able to sneak our way by.
Okay. So you guys have a few more hours until you arrive. I think if I recall correctly, you guys were catching the jet streams. You were making good time. I'd say you probably have about an hour left until you make it to the Sanctum of Peace.
Hey, do we get our inspo?
You can all take your inspo. Thank you for the reminder.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I
Valerian.
have 2 stocked.
I got 30, so I'm not taking. I can't take any more. I need to use them.
I totally should make pause. Should we do like a tag up thing for D&D
What do you mean?
from Daggerheart? You guys know what I'm talking about? This is just a total brain fart thing. We don't have to do it now, but this just popped in my brain. You know what I'm saying? Like inspiration, like hope. With you use 2, the tag up team up thing.
Oh.
Like the team up attack that you have to
Yeah.
spend like hope on or whatever. Yeah. I
Yeah.
would love that. That's sick, actually.
It'll be fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'll workshop that a little bit more. I'll make a note to look into that. Might
If
be
I were
make
to like, yeah, like if I were to model that, it would essentially be like, in combat, someone else, you can elect to like have someone else take an action also during
Yeah.
your turn, like, or like on your turn or something like that.
Yeah, and then there's some sort of bonus. Yeah. I'll workshop. I'm making a note. Maybe that's a
It's a really good idea, though.
team bonus level up perk thing that you guys get narrative in.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think an hour out though, as we're kind of going, Valerian is going to take out his chewing a charm, and I'm going to try to get something good.
Let's do it. What do we got?
40. Take a look at the dock here.
Charm of the Warlord.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Oh wait, that's nasty.
That is pretty nasty.
Oh,
Oof. Okay.
The Chewinga pops out of the rock, bops you on the top of the head with his tiny little fist. He just like skull knocks you one time, like he's knocking on a door. He sinks back into his little rock.
Thanks, buddy.
Back to his union.
Back to his union.
Okay. What other preparations is your group making as you head towards this imposing sanctum in the distance? You're seeing large, dazzling city with towering crystal spires on the horizon, making it almost shine like a beacon.
Does there appear to be like this far out? It's pretty hard, I'm sure, but does there appear to be any kind of airship presence other than us, or any type of aerial guards or protection in the city?
From just a visual scan, you're not seeing anything. But you're also still pretty far out.
Right.
But you don't see any objects in flight near or even heading towards the Sanctum of Peace.
I want to ask, I'll take a question. Hey, I'll take. So, to what extent can you change your appearance?
It's like there's a moment like, well, I can invoke some spells to disguise myself. I think I can even warp some elements of my physiology to adapt to different environments, to breathe underwater if needed. But I don't have mastery over myself the way Toad does. Although I'm still trying. They're a great inspiration for me.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, I think it would be useful for us to test out that ring of yours, in case we run into a problem like we had on this planet on a different planet, you know. But because the Martavira has, you know, visually identified you, even if you're wearing the ring, if you don't look different, they're gonna know it's you. So, do you think you could come up with a disguise?
Yes, yeah, I think so. I can alter myself. You know, I'll be maintaining a spell separately, which means I won't be able to, you know, easily read the thoughts of others, but I could still coordinate some communications between ourselves in the meantime.
All right, I'm gonna try to pitch the idea to everybody else and see if they're okay with it. I know it's a little risky, but I think it would. We're not gonna get a chance to like test this thing out anytime soon. I feel like. And Rick will indeed pitch this idea to Toad and Valerian.
I think it's a sound
Uh-oh.
plan. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hello?
Moses, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you, good sir.
Can you hear us?
Moses, say something!
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Phew. Sheesh. Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't hear anything from your conversation with Altaic, and I thought I was going crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, we were just making it super secret. I asked him if he could come up with a disguise for himself because I want to see if we can test his ring out with the Martavira. Because if he can disguise himself, then... Because obviously if the ring works, but he doesn't disguise himself, they're still going to know it's him.
Yeah, they know it's him, yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to propose to the rest of the crew, well, to you and Toad specifically, if that would be okay for us to take that risk. I do want to, because at meta, I do want to involve Eugene on this in this city.
Of course.
Yeah.
But we need a really good justification for it because the smart thing to do would be to leave him on the ship, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
I think, you know, Rick, it's important that we, Roland, you know, he's done a lot of things for us, but we haven't really seen a lot of those things happen. So maybe it's a good time to test something in the field that he's made for us. And for Altaic, especially, obviously change your appearance, 100%. But if Roland is saying it's working and it works, then I trust it. And we should bring you only for the fact that, to your point, Rick, we should ensure that this will work in the future as well. If it does come to being able to hide you before someone spots you.
Yeah. Let's try to slow walk it too. We'll see if they figure him out right away, then we just gotta bug out, right?
We have, I'll take you. Also need to make sure that any position that you're in, any conversation that we're in, just try to make yourself not a target. Obviously, speak your mind and contribute, but just make sure you're not getting singled out. Because once that happens, we have to leave.
Understood. Yeah. Altaic will try not to like copy anyone specific from the ship. I think he'll take inspiration for his form as he passes by a bunch of the crew, taking a melange from them. Let's see.
Basically I think we should have you disguise yourself as a random a dude, just a random crew member who's carrying our stuff, basically.
Yeah.
True. But should he do it magically, though? Because if he does it magically, there's a chance that they can just see through it, in a way. So maybe we just do it the old-fashioned way. We kind of change up your hair, change up your, get a little makeup here if we got some. Maybe we'll use some of the purple worm meat, just make you into a little orc, maybe. Who knows? Well, maybe we should do it physically instead of magically.
Is there someone who has some skill with,
Well, I am a bit of a fashionista myself.
I was going to suggest Savina, but
Please,
Yeah,
good
exactly.
God,
I
don't
was
let
about
him
to
touch it.
It's actually great contribution that she can provide for us. That's amazing.
Yeah. If you inquire on board who is proficient with makeup and general facial disguising tools of the cosmetic nature, Sabina obviously is one, and then Jules Marland, Rowan's assistant, are both relatively proficient in the cosmetic arts.
Let's make turn Altaik into like a half elf. So give him little long pointy ears. Make him really look different from his original self. If that's okay with you, Altaik.
Oh, of course. It'll be an eye-opening experience.
Okay.
Let's do a little makeover for you, I'll take. Let's get down to the ship hull and we'll get you a seat, and we'll bring down Jules and Savina. We'll see what they can come up with.
Jules knows what a Corvarian, that's what the Eberron name for a half-elf is, so Jules can understand and handle the majority of the makeup and, I guess, prosthetic work for some fake ears.
I would assume maybe like theater prosthetics, you know,
Yes.
like people have
Yes.
done those before.
Interestingly enough, Jules has some background in theater. So, so Jules can assist with that, and while Sabina can work on disguising the face in a more mundane manner. She asks if you want it to... So she's going to inherently do it in the style of Perosian design, but a half-elf isn't native to the planet. So do you want her to just try to imitate some of the things that she's seen on like Jules and other humanoids from Eberron? Or do you want her to lean more into the Perosian style?
I think she does what she does best. The Perosian style.
Yeah,
Jules does the prosthetics, and there's a very slim chance that they've been to Eberron to see.
Okay. Let's make this a check. So one of you is gonna roll for Jules, and yeah, so you'll just roll for Jules and Sabina. Eugene, you want to roll it?
Yeah.
Okay. You could just roll me a flat d20. I'll add the modifiers.
11.
Okay. Not bad.
That's above half.
That is true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Jules is very proficient in this kind of design. So, and so you pick the two best people on the ship to do this. They're highlighting areas of your facial structure that isn't normally highlighted. They try to walk down the jawbone to make it more of a subtle appearance, due to Corvarians having more of a androgynous appearance in their jawlines. It's not as much as the sharp jawline known in like most masculine subcultures. And then your eyes in your character art are like an orange, right? Am I seeing that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to do about the eyes? Because those are distinct. Do you want to leave them as is?
Let's see.
Oh man, you rolled off a Bell character sheet? Oh,
I know, right? Yeah, I highlighted that. There is, there's a question that's like, is there any eye covering, or that's traditional, or in absence of even lenses, or glasses or shades.
Roll me one more d20. Jules is gonna dig through her things and see what she can find.
Gotcha.
And Jules,
Okay.
we also gotta snatch his waist.
Snatched. I mean, she puts. It's easy enough to find a little bit more thinning attire. You're not necessarily a very broad-chested individual, correct, Altair?
No.
If anything, you lost some muscle mass during your transformation. So, yeah, that's easily enough done. Corvarian folk generally have more of a thinner body style anyways, and these creatures aren't going to know what a Corvarian looks like, but Jules is pretty proficient in this. She is able to find some glasses that are non-magical that are colored. So it balances out. If they're looking straight at you, the glasses are going to give your eyes a black appearance. It's going to look like they cancel out the orange and give your irises a black appearance. But if anyone looks at you from a weird angle or looks at it upon further inspection, they could see that it's just a trick of the glasses.
Gotcha.
But it's something.
Yeah. I think he'll like moving forward. He will be like leveraging his skills to walk and like take very different to like present himself very differently. Ensuring that he like tries to stay behind instead of being as like brazen as I'll take typically is. Will like endeavor to be someone like just nondescript, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Any other preparations you're doing for anybody on your team?
I would like to test that the ring works. Like as we go in, I'll take to like turn the ring on, and then I'll cast from my staff to detect if he pings his aberration or not.
Gotcha.
So let's revisit this ring. Yeah, thank you for posting it. So it functions right now in its experimental state. Once you turn it on, it's a constant on. Roland is predicting up to 24 hours. So you can cut it on now, but anything past 24 hours, you cannot guarantee that it'll function appropriately. So you turn on the ring now. Yeah, you're about 15 minutes out. So you're just about there.
Yeah, within D&D, there's like a similar spell, like Nistel's Magic Aura, which lasts like 24 hours. Post this in D&D info, I guess. So mask choose a creature type other than the target's actual type. Spells and other effects that treat magical effects treat the target as if they were a creature of the chosen type. So humanoid, I suppose.
Okay. Do you have this spell?
I do not have this spell, I believe.
And I don't believe Roland does either, so this is just strictly meta knowledge here. But yes, for the rules of your ring, we'll count it under the same rules as like the math. Due to creature type other than the target's actual type, spells and other magical effects treat the creature as if it was a creature of the chosen type.
Okay.
So yes, you are quintessentially under the effects of the math.
Gotcha.
And Toad, you would like to confirm this?
Yeah, Toad's just being precautious and making sure it's working.
Okay, what are you casting?
On my scepter, I can use 2 charges to detect aberrations and etc.
Okay, so you burn 2 charges. How many charges do you have total on that staff?
10.
You got a lot of charges on the staff. All right. So you cast the spell using the power of the staff rather than your internal druidic magic, and you sweep the field, searching for aberrations on the ship onto Altair. He does not glow in the usual glow that he would when you view him under the spell. So it is working as intended.
Gotcha.
How long does that spell last for?
My spell? It lasts for... It just says if creatures are present and don't have total cover from you, then the staff rings. So it doesn't seem like it has a duration.
How does Altair look?
Do I give off, do I still give off that je ne sais quoi?
Nope, you look plain and boring, just like everyone else. You blend in, which is good.
I'm trying to think of a name that also fits with, with this persona. I was thinking maybe Javi or Terran, something along those lines. Fewer of these long vowels.
I like Javi.
Javi it is? How do I look? So, do I look suitably unimpressed? And he, tries to adjust his expressions. Almost like a pout, like someone who's just trying to get through the day.
You look fantastic.
I agree.
Okay.
All right, Javi, let's get going.
All right. Like, yes, sir.
I love it. Okay, anything else, you guys, as you guys are approaching the main gate of the Sanctum of Peace, you see glowing bronze statues towering over a massive gate. You see what looks to be, from this distance, some sort of warrior group patrolling the gate and standing watch. Any other steps that you're doing in preparation, and also, are you intending to bring anyone from the ship off?
I would suggest that we have Javi be basically a ship hand. So let's have them carry the bag of holding that has the illithid body in it. Excuse me, the cephalid body in it.
All right. Don't lose it though.
I'm like, okay.
Good. Good.
It's just like, where would I lose it? All right. He like, is a bag of holding something that like he would wear on his back, or like he put like on his like side? Is it like a?
That's a
I
good
imagine
question.
it's like an over the chest, like, what are those called?
Little knapsack?
Yeah. Like one of those like pouches that hangs at the side, but it like goes over the chest, like a long strap.
Maybe a rucksack, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not so big, but like.
Yeah, I think he'll try to like carry it like that, like it is a bigger burden.
Okay. And then just the four of you?
He's like, you can hear him like trying to get into the character, like just trying to get through the day. What do you keep in here?
Oh my gosh.
I love it. There doesn't seem to be anywhere to park, and it's very clear and apparent that the way the city is designed, it's almost a dome. So without pulling you there's a dome, and then there's a guard, like a wall outside the dome, that basically you'd have to park the ship somewhere on the outskirts of the city. You can bring it up as close as you want right to the front. It's about, you can park the ship up to what you can deem safely is about like 50 feet from the gate, or you can choose to park a little bit further back and walk up. It's your choice.
I think we walk up. I say
Yeah.
we do.
Okay. So about how far back? So you say maybe about 100, 150 feet from the gate?
Yep, that sounds about right.
Okay. All right. The crew is on high alert based on everything that they've heard about the specific Marta Vera group that is known to operate inside the Sanctum of Peace.
Mm-hmm.
So The four of you depart and get your first look at the City of Peace. The air of celestial beauty and might greet your eyes as you slowly walk up to the Sanctum of Peace. So we will start first on the physical map, and then if you get inside, I will pull you to the tile set. So the four of you approach these 70, 80 feet high statues adorn this entrance to this massive sanctum. And you feel an air of divine power emanating from everywhere inside. It seems to exude and trickle out to the outskirts. You almost feel like you have to try to internally prove your worthiness to even stand here. It's a subconscious thing, and it's intimidating. And what's potentially driving that intimidation is the massive amount of angelic and celestial warriors that seem to patrol and guard the gate. They all seem to stare at your presence, and you immediately feel a sense of unwelcomeness as the weapons train upon you. But none of them seem threatened. This is more so a cautionary warning of the might of the Celestials that live in this sanctum. Stepping over the edge of the gate, a young woman appears, dressed in pure white robe, an aura of power exuding from her as she looks down upon you four as you ascend the stairwell into the sanctum. A gentle voice greets you at the top of the gate. Welcome, travelers far and wide from parts unknown. We greet thee in the holy name of his light. Welcome to Sanctum. Please, state your business here.
Hello. We came on the ship that you must have seen. We are the crew of the Dragonhawk and the Dragonhawk Initiative from a planet far away known as Eberron. And we've come to seek knowledge and make our presence known and be as respectful as possible and really just introduce ourselves. And I'll kind of just like idly take a step forward, hoping they don't shoot me.
They don't shoot you, but some of the crossbows and ballista follow your step. They're not
We've
threatened
actually
by your
come-
step.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you at least hearing us out. We've come actually with something that you might be interested in, and we wanted to show you what we have and let it be our peace, our contribution of peace.
Peace offering.
Peace offering. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, Valerian, I want you to answer me a question. Is anything that you said a lie?
No.
I didn't think so, but I have to ask. Okay. We welcome all students who study the ways of the world travelers far and wide, but be warned that any threats against our people will result in immediate expulsion from the Sanctum of Peace. However, I am curious what you speak of as this peace offering. What do you have? Something that may be of interest to the disciples within these walls?
I think very much so, actually. And I'll gesture back. If you want to bring it up.
Javi, get over here.
Also forward.
We have procured something that is very strange to us. We encountered it on this planet, but it doesn't seem native to this planet. And we were hoping that you could maybe give us some information on it, and it might be of interest to you as well. Javi, go ahead and show him.
You want me to, it's fresh. Do you want me to put it on a table or?
Actually, do you have a place we can go in private? This is probably not appropriate to show in a public square.
Is it that can potentially be arranged, but can you just give me a basic description of what you have achieved, what you have obtained?
Well, I guess no point in trying to be
Just
polite
go ahead
about
and
it.
pull the head out. Why not?
No, okay. It's a corpse of an alien creature. We don't know what it is.
We're calling it
Cephalid.
cephalids. Came down in a ship. You probably were informed about it, if not seen it yourself. A couple hours away from here, ship went down, and we investigated. We came upon what we came upon, and we bring you this, knowing that you rule as peacemakers on this planet.
Probably want to be in the know about stuff like this, I imagine.
You hear a grumbling from behind the disciple of a large, boomy groan. You can't see it, but you hear something groaning behind. It's to you it sounds like a groan, but after a second you realize it's a almost someone giving a sharp exhale. Fascinating. I believe that your offering has some merit of study by our scholars. However, I must protect my people first. Do you intend myself or any of our people any harm?
Of course not. We have learned from the moment we stepped on this planet, there is no fighting.
I
Yep,
will need
not
each of
trying
you
to get into a
answer
fight
this,
here.
please. Toad, she's staring at you patiently.
Oh, no. We don't want to fight. We just want to exchange information.
Yeah, it's like, oh well,
Javi,
this one was harmed, but we
But not from
come in
us.
peace. We come in peace.
I wasn't lying.
Were
Who's
any of
lying?
you lying over the table?
I was
Nope.
not.
I
Nope.
specifically said we don't want to fight. That's true for
Yes.
Rick, as far as he's concerned.
There is a pause as this young woman looks back behind her left shoulder. There seems to be a momentary conversation that occurs between her and somebody else. And she looks back. She nods to herself. She says, "Very well. You may enter. Please, we ask that you leave your weapons at the gate. We understand you are travelers from afar, and violence is albeit sometimes the nature of the outside world, but in here None brandish weapons beyond the wall.
Are
including
the
our
angels
soldiers.
themselves not brandishing weapons? This is a question to the GM.
Inside the sanctum, none carry weapons.
Okay.
I'll take out my
And
greatsword and just plop it right beside me.
you just throw it on the
Do you have,
ground
like,
right there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you? Oh, I actually was gonna ask. Do you have like a place we can put it, or?
There is a place behind these walls that you may store your things, and they shall
Okay.
be returned to you untouched upon your departure.
Good. I was just want to leave it out in the square. That'd be ridiculous.
No, mine's good.
Okay.
We bend these rules for outsiders alone. You should feel we are doing our best to accommodate others. Please, come in. You hear the cranking of the doors as they slowly open for the four of you. And she walks past the gate out of sight and begins to make her way down. So,
All right, Jobby, fall in line.
okay. You are brought in, and inside this immediate area, you see what she was looking at is this massive creature, clearly celestial, who seems to almost stand there as the arbiter of something, what you don't know. But she passes by you in the railing, and she tells you as she's walking above you, please place your armaments and weapons in the racks to the left and to the right of you. And she begins to make her way down to you all.
I wonder if they're on a higher security alert.
Probably don't get many visitors.
Anyway,
I will just deapparate my armor. I don't have to put anything up.
Fancy schmancy over here.
Okay. I guess the better question is, what weapons aren't you all getting rid of?
Rick is going to disarm completely. I do believe.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have to take my armor off, so
No, that wasn't the request.
okay, yeah. Altic will drop his dagger, or sorry, the things that he won't get rid of. Like, I don't know if the wand will immediately like trigger as a weapon.
Which wand is this?
The Zorian Wenge wand.
That is an interesting question. It's used as a spellcasting focus, correct?
Exactly.
You
think they'd be mad about this? You know, he kind of.
I would get rid of everything else. Javi.
All right. All right. Here we go. So yeah.
As Rick places the sort of the parents down, does it react at all to its surroundings in this scenario?
That is an interesting question.
If you're not prepared to give me an answer, you don't.
No, I
you don't have
can.
to.
No, I can't.
Okay.
So the sword tends to have a faint glow when held by someone of we'll call a morally good character, right? Or when it's surrounded by the presence of good, right? When you place it in the scabbard, or when you place it into the rack, which is more so a part of the city, you do sense that it has the same glow as if in an environment of positive or what could be seen as morally good energy. Yes, it does.
It might be affected by the same kind of thing that's helping our healing spells be better. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take. Seems like you've dropped everything. Rick, seems like you've dropped everything. Valerian, you dropped your greatsword. We know what you can do with that thing. Are you keeping anything on you?
I have my rope of entanglement, but I think actually, just in case, I will put it away too. Okay. Anything else on my inventory, like my trident and shit like that, I would have left that on the ship.
That's fine. Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Is Toad
Fine.
technically even carrying a weapon right now?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna turn to Toad.
Yeah, I feel like Toad doesn't see their staff as a weapon, but understands that others might, and so will leave it.
Okay.
So maybe you make some flowers before you leave it. Maybe
Oh.
they'll like them.
Oh, I thought you wanted it. Oh, for them.
Oh, that is so
Um,
nice. I would like one actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Toad pops out a little forget-me-not for you.
Amazing. Put in my ear.
And then also I'll spend one more charge to make a little daisy as an offering, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, from my understanding, you all have completely disarmed. You know, Lorraine, you break the system every time.
Yep. But they don't
The
know that.
the ultimate holdout weapon.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right. So, as you finish disarming, the woman comes over and she says, "Thank you for helping us keep peace safe. I am known as the disciple of patience. You may call me Patience. If you'll allow me, I shall escort you to the Cathedral of Atonement to meet with our senior leaders to discuss this, what could be a grave threat to our people and the people on this planet." She kind of
Uh,
turns and beckons
we
you to
were.
come with her.
How could you tell us about how long this will take? We were hoping to be departing from this planet today. Will we be staying overnight or?
It is completely up to you. You are not beholden to the Sanctum of Peace. Um, you may converse with those that wish to converse with you as long as you like. Any sort of permanent or even temporary residency would need to be discussed with the higher disciple. We
Understood.
do not simply have areas for visitors normally.
Hmm.
But if you follow
Okay.
me, I can bring you along.
Oh, is the atonement chamber for visitors, or we got, or is this for folks here?
Okay. So, Patience will begin speaking on the Cathedral of Atonement while you guys are traveling. So, let me pull you to the board on the Sanctum of Peace. So,
Ooh,
the exterior of the Sanctum of Peace is at the top, and
that is beautiful.
as you get through the gates, the dome seems to cover this shining land, right? And there are some pockets of the city that are outside of the dome itself, but the interior of the dome just has this. It's covered in white marble and pristine gold, copper, and brass, and it seems you instantly feel a calming sensation in all of your mind. You feel like, were you into meditation, or if you currently practice meditation, if you just sat and reflected in this space, that you could learn so much about yourself in just a few minutes. It is immediately a calming effect. You feel no threats of danger as you enter. You don't feel like you have to constantly keep looking over your shoulders. Maybe it's a magical effect, maybe it's just the attitude and behavior of these celestials that you walk with. Not all of them have, the stereotypical angelical wings. Um, the Disciple of Patience notably does not have angelic wings, and there are several others that do not have wings, but they all seem to be walking around and traveling from place to place in contemplation, as if you were in a monk's land. Is the best way to explain this in our terms of today.
Mhm.
So the Disciple of Patience brings you through the Sanctum of Peace towards the Cathedral of Atonement. And she describes the Cathedral of Atonement as one of the main meeting grounds of the disciples to atone for lapses in judgment and lapses of falling off the way. And so, as disciples of a certain characteristic in ourselves, the, the people of peace take names of a practice or virtue that they themselves struggle with. And they embody that as their source of struggle. And when they struggle with it and lose their way, the Cathedral of Atonement is a place to seek mentorship and guidance from some of the more senior disciples. Up to the senior disciples, but not the head disciple of the Sanctum of Peace, who she tells you goes by the name of the disciple of absolute peace. And he sits in the cathedral, or excuse me, he sits in um, the main temple of contemplation and thought, which is depicted on the art of the interior Sanctum of Peace. You're being brought to an area that's more in the northwest part of that picture. So the walk takes you about 20 minutes as she's describing this. What are you guys doing in this moment?
Rick would like to check if it's true that there's like no weapons, like anybody. There's no guards or anything. Like what's going on with that?
Make a perception check for me.
Okay.
You do not notice any guards anywhere inside of the dome. Once you get
Gotcha.
past the walls, there are no guards. It seems like all of the force of weaponry of that nature is kept outside of this inner sanctum. There seems to be individuals that, as even though they're contemplative in their walk and they're quietly, maybe meditating while walking, they have the body stature and poise of warriors. However, nobody is openly carrying any weapons.
Gotcha. Just wanted to see if we were playing by the same rules.
You are playing by the same rules.
All right.
Can I do like? I think Toad wants to examine the people and see if anyone's like reacting to us coming through, or if they're like truly peaceful people, or if they look like they're in distress, or like they're, if they're coming for atonement. Is that like a thing that they chose to do? Does someone force them to come here?
Okay. So for this one, I'd like you to make me a blind insight check, please.
Okay.
So, generally, the majority of individuals walking around seem to be dedicated to their meditations, their contemplative nature. You see individuals sitting openly in grassy areas, studying some sort of novels or or books. Very much the scene that you would think of if you went to a Buddhist monastery. Whenever it evokes that imagery in your mind, that is there. There are some individuals that you also interpret with Rick that have more of a warrior mindset that seem to be struggling more than others with this quiet, peaceful, contemplative nature. It seems like they're trying to do this, but how well they're actually succeeding is you notice the micro expressions that they make. A quick sharpening of the eyebrows in frustration when reading something, or a quick eye glance towards you in suspicion. That it seems like the facade on these particular individuals seems to break. They're under
Got it.
they're individuals who are also looking at you that seem to have no suspicion or malice looking at you. So it's a mixed bag.
Within this, this particular sanctum, is there like art, perhaps like stained glass or like murals depicting, thematic events? Like, is there artwork, engravings depicting like what people might be seeking forgiveness for or seeking uh, uh, humility,
Atonement.
like atonement for?
You haven't made it to the cathedral yet, but
Okay.
if you're just generally observing the sanctum, um, you can give me a perception check.
Okay,
It's a
sounds good.
different. It's a different thing.
Gotcha. Nice.
On what appears to be living spaces and general public spaces, there doesn't seem to be any art that you could describe as created art. However, the flora on the ground in these public spaces, you're walking by parks with benches and areas to sit. The gardens of the Sanctum of Peace seem to be meticulously maintained to the degree that you maybe could call it art. Almost like a well maintained Zen garden. Usually, the symbolism in the growing and design of the Guardian is evoking symbols of peace. There are generally accepted symbols of peace in symbolisms. Um, a fish swimming in a brook gently by itself. And then that's further encapsulated by that garden will have a small pond with one singular fish. Things of that nature. Uh,
Javi will kind of nudge Toad, and like point these out. It's like, you recognize any of these?
Oh, let me see. Do I recognize any of them?
Specifically the symbolisms.
No, I think I'm looking more at the plant life.
Okay. Roll me a. I guess since you're off planet, it's either a nature or xenoarchaeologist check.
I will roll a xenoarchaeologist check.
I feel like for a lot of things for Toad, xenoarchaeologist is kind of replacing nature. I may
Well,
disagree.
between that and herbalism, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So you do recognize some of the plants of being the mundane, non-magical property type that you have seen on Eberron in the forest and on some other planets, because there is some mundane plants and flora that, while native to Eberron, you have seen on other planets. Everything that you see isn't um every flora and fauna that you see isn't exquisitely alien to the planet of Eberron, which is an interesting point all in itself, because how could the same plants be here and also back on Eberron? That's an interesting observation that you've had on a couple different planets, but for here, you're noticing that trend of plants native to Eberron are a lot more present here in the Sanctum of Peace.
Mm. Yeah, it seems many of these plants come from Eberron, actually. Some from the other places that we've been, but many from a lot from Eberron.
I wonder how much more of there. I wonder how much more of this place comes or is inspired by Eberron.
I wonder if they trade with the shoot, I can't remember their names. The
Adventants?
other humans, the Adventants. I wonder if they. Thank you. I remember that. Toad does. I wonder if they
Toad
trade
does,
with
yeah.
the Adventants, and that's how they got so much of their plant life.
Anything else?
One last thing.
Yeah.
Are we only seeing Celestials here, or are there any other kinds of people
That was
here?
my question.
Okay. You guys both want to look for other beings other than Celestials?
You know
If
what,
so-
Valerian? You got this.
Okay. Well, what I would like to do to that basically is I think whenever Valerian is in this place, what he's looking for is slaves. I'm looking for basically any sign of the missing people from all the parties, the cities, the towns that have been kind of just demolished.
Okay. Yeah, make me a blind perception check. Looking for any remnants of slaves or captured individuals.
All right, perception. Could I possibly spin this as investigation by Valerian? So, the angelic celestials here, they're all humanoid, right? Some of them are a lot larger, but mostly humanoid, right?
Correct. Some of them,
And like,
like the Disciple of Patience, could pass as a standard human, with the exception of maybe the stark white hair. I could see that argument.
no,
You're attempting to
I think you're right. I
investigate.
think you're right. That is perception, because investigation. I would be like looking at like investigating certain buildings, I guess. But if we're
Mhm.
just casually walking, I don't see how it would be. But I'll do it blind. Oh, that's not blind. How do you do blind again?
You drop on the bottom right hand corner boundary. You drop the roll. There,
If
I got
it's
it.
not great, I will spin and investigate, or sorry, a inspiration point and just re-roll it just in case, even if it is good.
So you're paying particular attention to the human non-angelic directly appearing individual, right? Similar to the Disciple of Patience, right? And they could be male or female, or anywhere on the natural appearance of individuals that don't have wings, right? So the more humanoid creatures here, most of them you see seem to be celestial. However, what piques your eye is in this phantasmal, you know, heavenly body of many people wearing pure white clothing. You spot several hundred feet away, walking on a separate crosswalk, a female appearing woman in black robes, similar to the garb worn by the followers of the sovereign host in Peros.
Whoa.
So you're seeing someone dressed in the garb similar to Dionysia. But you
I
are
will
too far
point that out to
away to
Rick.
get a look on the face. So I'm going back and looking at the Peros garb. It is black inner garments, and then it is a hood on top, kind of a top wear draping over their shoulders of white and gold, but underneath that is black.
Okay. And are they being escorted at all, or are they walking on their free will?
They are walking side by side with a celestial with wings.
Mm. Yeah, I'll point that out to Rick. Rick, over there to the left.
Rick does a double take. What?
See that? That looks surprisingly like the people that we saw in Burroughs.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dionysia has some kind of connection with the people here, so that's not too surprising, is it?
They have connection, but would they stay here? Especially, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just something Rick. I'm just keeping an eye out, and I'll kind of whisper. I'm just keeping an eye out for the people that are missing. If you see
Mhm.
something, we don't act on it. Obviously, we can't because we are severely outnumbered. But at least we can get some information.
Uh, does Rick see any giants around here?
No roll required. You don't see any giants.
Yeah. Well, it'd be pretty easy to see if there were any of the missing giants here. So
It's true. Could be under us, Rick. Always got to keep your eyes out.
for sure, Captain.
Literally in the ever paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay. Ever the conspiracy theorist. The better phrase there.
Vaccines don't work.
We fucking go. Okay. So, you are brought to a large church-esque temple, which Altaic, you note, has many a stained glass window on it. And you are brought up to the front of the Cathedral of Atonement. So, the disciple of patience says, I must confer with my peers. If you will only wait a moment outside, I will see where best to escort you to for further study of this entity that you've revealed to our midst.
Of course.
And she will go and walk over here. And she begins speaking to some individual. So, Valerian, you spot a rather warrior-esque appearing individual in the courtyard that she seems to go towards. Make me actually, I don't think you were there for that situation. You just see
I
another
wasn't there
celestial.
for the carnival.
You weren't there for the carnival. So yeah, this would be irrelevant to you. However, Toad, you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a perception check. As you
Do you
can
want this
spot.
blind?
No, we can have this one.
Oh, I'm gonna spend an inspiration because this feels important. That's better.
You notice this individual has the same skin color as the hooded individual in the black and white garb of the followers of the sovereign host that accosted Altair. It may not be him, but he's got the same tanned skin tone.
Who relays that to the group?
And the door to the church is open, and you can hear some soft voices inside.
Well, shall we?
Ah, shall we?
Are we supposed to wait here?
Yeah, I mean, they said went outside, of course, right? And I think the player will start kind of walking up to the look in this church.
Yeah, so the door is open, and you see a handful of individuals in quiet conversation or in individual meditative prayer um, towards just this is just kind of a place of reflection, a place of atonement.
Is there any iconography here of any deities or anything like that?
Yeah, so no roll required here. You can see most of it from the doorway. Um, what you see in the stained glass is depictions of a land not like any land you've seen before. It feels like if the Sanctum of Peace was in itself, the inner sanctum was the entire world. It is a sprawling city in the clouds. If whatever imagery it comes to your mind that that reminds you of the Christian religion of an interpretation of heaven, that is what the imagery is attempting to evoke.
Mm.
Not acts or deeds, but images of a world that it seems like the Sanctum of Peace was designed to imitate. After spending a few
Okay.
seconds kind of observing out here, um, the disciple of patience comes back around.
We almost needed some patience.
He says, the disciple of gratitude is heavily interested in what you may have discovered. You indicated that it was the ship, yes?
That's
The one
right.
that
The ship
crashed?
that went down. That's right.
Yes. Okay. We would invite you to bring this creature into an area that we have uh, warded off from any infractions that we can use in careful examination. However, I ask that you please be respectful as you are being brought into one of the larger chambers of this area, and I ask that you do not touch anything outside of permission granted by myself or gratitude. Is that acceptable?
Sounds fair to me.
Yep.
Mhm.
If you'll please follow me, I will guide you and escort you there. Okay. So, the disciple of patience is leading you in through a doorway over here to the right, and the other celestials step out of your way.
Uh-oh.
Toad, Rick, Altea. You make eye contact with the individuals in the courtyard, talking quietly. The male appearing celestial at the highest point of the map, right here. Altaic, he looks at you dead in the eyes, and the rest of you realize that he has the exact same face of the individual who was stalking you in the alleys.
Oh boy.
He does not move, but do you do anything?
Yeah, I'll take. We'll try to just try to pass it off. Like he'll he'll endeavor not to react. If it seems like they've locked eyes, he'll give one of those like bowed nods of greeting someone unfamiliar before turning back to the rest of his crew.
Okay. I would like
He'll
you
try to
to.
play it nonchalantly.
Okay, makes sense. I'd like you to give me a blind deception roll. And then Rick and Toad, you recognize this individual's face as well. Do you keep walking or do you do something different?
I think Rick is gonna try to help Altaik a little bit, and pull attention away from Altaik.
Okay.
Rick will say, Javi, keep up already, okay?
Yep.
I know you're new to the crew and all that, but we're bringing you on this just to get you used to getting off the ship, okay? Don't be gawking around everywhere. And he'll try to
Okay.
he'll get behind Altaik and start pushing him forward.
Okay.
Yeah. Eyes forward. Eyes
I'll
forward.
allow you to make another deception check because you're being held,
Cool.
and we'll take the highest one. Toad, what are you doing?
Can I see if he recognizes him?
Make me a blind insight check, please.
Hmm.
He's suspicious, but he doesn't seem to recognize Altaik. However, you know that he recognizes you and Rick. There is a sense of recognition in his eyes that he's attempting to hide, but he knows the two of you. And correct me if I'm wrong.
I was there for that.
I was
Yeah,
just
I
about
was
to say,
there for
you
that.
were there too, right? Okay.
I
So
was.
you would
Yeah,
have
that
also
was
recognized.
the next session after the carnival.
My memory on that was a little foggy. Okay.
All
So,
good.
Toad, you would have recognized that the Disciple of Humility has recognized all three of you. But he's not like gawking. There's just a faint notice of recognition in his eyes.
All right, Toad will just keep walking then.
And Valerian, because you would also have recognized the facial structure of the Disciple of Humility, do you do anything besides follow the Disciple of Patience?
Nope. I think I just follow the disciple of patience and playing with "Forget Me Not" in my ear.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, did you give him the daisy yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So the Disciple of Patience leads you in and escorts you in. She seems to have no notice of what just occurred. She brings you into this very small room. And following you inside is the Disciple of Gratitude. Rick and Altaik, you come in as well?
Yep. I'm pushing Javi.
Yeah.
And you notice next to some of these disciples is a small, I can't explain it in any other way except for saying Navi from Zelda.
Hey.
Like, hey, listen, but celestial in nature. Glowing gold instead of white or blue. So you're escorted in, you guys all squeeze in, right? And the door is shut behind you, right? She says, now, gratitude? These are the ones that I spoke to you of. They have brought what they believe to be an aberration in nature. He looks
Yes.
around at
It's not gonna be pretty. I'll just warn you.
well, we must be aware of any threats that threaten our people or the people of this planet. So, I've heard that this came from the ship that exploded some miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Piero was not able to make it to the ship in time, so it seems that you and your Spelljammer ship, I'm told they are called, made it there quickly.
It's a fast one.
Impressive. Where
Yeah,
were you
I mean,
ported at when you saw it
we made it
fall?
there, and we collected what we did and any evidence that was present as well. And of course, we have our own research. We did our own research, but
To be honest, we didn't learn much. We have a lot more questions than we had answers.
Mhm.
I guess maybe we should just go ahead and do it then. And Rick's gonna
Yeah.
snap his fingers. Javi, lay it out.
All right.
Yes. The Disciple of Gratitude seems to make some arcane symbols in his hand, and he is going to cast Dispel Evil and Good. Some of you that know the spell understand the concept, and it creates disadvantage on attack rolls against him, and he also targets the Disciple of Patience
Okay.
in a defensive measure.
Don't worry, this one's pretty dead.
So
And if
this
he
one is
wasn't, if he wasn't dead before.
this one is dead, but I will warn you in case something goes sideways that we have no part of. When we met this creature, one of its fellow creatures ended it. It was alive when we saw it, but it met its end by one of its own kind, and that kind came through a portal and left through a portal.
Pretty
So-
alarming stuff.
Yeah, it exploded his head. To be very frank, but I want to just let it be known now we have no part of that. If that doesn't,
Remarkably, we did not kill this thing.
that's right.
I don't think we could have, to be honest.
I am grateful for your candor in this moment. Let us see what remains of this creature.
Javi?
Yeah, there's a moment where it's like he starts shaking out the bag.
Oh no, wait, don't do that, because there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, not like dumping it all on the ground, but like once he gets like the shoulders of the creature through, he's like gingerly
Ugh.
trying to like jostle it out of
Like
the bag.
flopping around.
Yeah, Just like big
Like
fella.
a can of dog food trying to get out of the can.
Very much.
Oh god.
The tentacles are flopping around.
Yeah.
The Disciple of Gratitude and
Okay.
Patience, like, take a half step back.
If there are any objects caught on it, it's like, oh, that's not part of it.
Really playing this up. I love it. Okay. So you deposit the corpse of... What are you guys calling it?
A
Cephaloid?
cephalid.
Yeah,
Good old
Cephalid.
trout.
cephalids. Yeah.
Onto the ground, and there is a sharp inhale by both disciples. I believe someone's trying to get at my door. I was thinking about
Might be
taking a
bedtime.
break anyways. So let my son say goodnight to you all, because he's come in before on break and he's been so sad.
Oh.
Is that you guys out there?
It's only because he likes Moses so much.
It's the easiest to say name, I think. Is it night time? Come on, Bubbas. Come sit down. Want to say hi to our
It's
friends?
one word.
Wait.
Okay, be gentle with that. Okay. Be gentle. Hey, I just said be gentle. I just said be gentle. Leave it. Don't touch it. Don't.
I move a little bit.
No, we cannot move it a little bit.
What's
Arthur.
his name? What's his name?
So you can look at the names right here. There's Allie. And Moses.
And that one where there were white one.
That's me. That's Dad.
Tim, Daddy.
DM. Dim.
How many was?
He's just looking at it. No clicking. No clicking.
Okay.
You want to tell him about how you saw the dinosaur at the museum?
That's the museum.
What kind of dinosaur did you see?
Alligators and my hair there. And I see a
Did you see a T-Rex? Blank.
I see
Where'd you go, bro?
I go to the museum with this guy.
Yeah.
It was with leave with some person.
It was goo.
It was at school.
You went with school.
I go to the museum of dinosaurs.
Are you a dinosaur? Are you a dinosaur master?
Yeah. I'm gonna help you. No, not that one.
All right, Bubba's. Time to say goodnight to our friends.
I have numbers.
Boy. Yeah, I'll then talk.
Yep. Say goodnight.
Good night.
I'm gonna hop down. I felt it through the floor. Give me a hug, sweet one.
It was like the toddler sniff for me. Because they never blow their nose. They're always so snotty.
I won't jump in.
All right, you guys want to take a quick 10, be back at 8? Or top of the hour?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
Sure
okay.
thing.
All right, sounds good. And we're back. Okay. As the body of the strange alien creature slops onto the ground, gratitude and patience take a half step back. This entity is a grave threat. Were there more on this ship that landed on the planet? Tell me everything you know. I would be full of gratefulness towards you and your companions.
There was just the one, as far as we know.
That's right.
There were other creatures on board the ship, though.
What were they? Did they leave the ship? The ship exploded. Were the creatures that you encountered inside, besides this one here, exterminated in the blast?
I think most living
Unfortunately,
things were exterminated, but we can't say for sure, just because we left before it exploded, of course.
from what we could tell, the ship had been sort of floating out in space for a while and wasn't in
Right.
very good shape.
Was the ship active when it crashed?
Ish.
Yeah, active in the way that it was moving, I guess. What we suspect, is that it fell into Thandor's orbit and came crashing down. It was docile and floating through space until it got sucked up by the orbit. That's kind of what we think happened.
From our understanding of these creatures, they are nothing but the opposite of docile. You are lucky to be alive. We should... He kind of starts touching his eyebrows and rubbing his forehead. Patience chimes in gently. She says, "They said it themselves. The ship exploded. The threat has been eliminated." Yes, I understand that, but there could be more. I must speak with humility. Patience, let me know what else you discover on this creature. And he steps out.
Perhaps more relevant than the ship is the fact that, I mean, these things can just sort of go wherever they please.
Right.
What do you mean by that?
It really seemed that when our friend here woke up from they were asleep, and they woke up from their slumber that I think we helped them out of. I don't know exactly the mechanics of that ship, but when they woke up, I think that might have triggered a almost like a location for their enemies in some way, because we had but a brief conversation with them, and then their head was exploded, and we barely got a glimpse of the perpetrator. It happened so fast.
When you say you spoke with them, did you speak with them through your mind?
See, I think so, but I also talk out loud when someone's speaking through my mind. It just really messes me up if I don't do that. So I was communicating to them both ways. But yeah,
Allow me to quickly check that there is no further interference. She cast Detect Evil as good as well.
Aha.
Wedding.
So, nothing pings on Althea.
Ooh.
Valerian, you are no longer wearing the demon plate mail.
I am not, thankfully.
Nobody else has, to my knowledge, any cursed items on them. But Patience still turns to you, Val. And she says, you have a strange presence monitoring you. I sense it is not of the nature of the creature that we are discussing. It is of the plane of the Fae? Is this something you are aware of? Something that is a threat? Please answer.
No threats, I don't believe. Might be my Male, our previous captain, that may be looking upon me, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. I, I don't know.
It was supposed to be a private DM roll, but whatever. Um, she takes a deep breath. Says, but keep that to yourself. Should it become an interference, I must speak of it. I'm not required
Of
to
course.
report it, but I must speak of it should it become an issue. If I am
If
asked,
it,
I must tell.
yeah, and if you see at any point that it is becoming an issue and I'm unaware, well, please bring it to my attention. Do you mind just expanding on that? Do you know anything else? You said it's just something of a fey nature.
I'm afraid my powers are not as great as other disciples, but I also feel that further investigation will not allow you to leave this place.
Oh,
Should they discover something that would be of harm, you may be confined to a place to protect yourself and others from greater bodily harm and violate and disturb the inner sanctum of. I'm
absolutely.
sorry I can't give you more information.
No, I know that the biggest thing here on this planet that you have very aptly and very successfully have created is peace. So I want to uphold that as much as I can. But that is interesting. If there is someone that becomes maybe unpeaceful, there's a place that you put them. Is that what you're inferring?
Uh, no, it's simply a holding environment. It's more of a private home on the outskirts of Sanctum,
Oh,
where disciples um, would assist you with either atoning for um, individual turmoils, almost like a mentor to help guide you through the process. But it's incredibly rare. Few of the um, few of the individuals from Peros, the followers of the Sovereign Host, have come, and they've sought guidance from those same mentors. It's not a um, it's more of an assistance measure. It's nothing that you would find unsatisfactory outside of the fact that we would not allow you to leave until you work through that issue, just so that your continued presence on the planet does not disturb others. But it is not violent or in nature or anything of that or anything to that matter. I've gone through it myself. You others have. Um, the, actually, the disciple of gratitude was my mentor at the time, and he was quite helpful with me tackling my atonement of lack of patience, if you will. Um, but
well, look at you now.
thank you. Uh, but no, we pride ourselves on helping everyone we can. We can only do so much as we can for those on the planet around us. And those that have the ability to do good, do good. And I believe in this.
Kind of look to everybody else. Just like, oh, I'll look at everybody else, and I'll kind of like give them a look, like, should I give something else? But I also think Valerian's really bad at facial expressions, so
Yeah,
I think he just opens his eyes very widely at everybody else.
I think Huh. Yeah, this is a moment where Altaik is wondering if he should evoke his, like, telepathy, essentially, but I don't want to. I don't want to ring any alarms here. Yeah. So this is a moment where I suppose he'll just rely on like actual expressions, and just kind of shrug at this point, like. I think it's just a judgment call when we need more information.
She looks down at the creature on the ground. Kind of shiver kind of goes down her spine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said another entity like this was on the ship? Or was this the only one?
It wasn't on the ship. It sort of appeared through a portal and did this. Rick's gonna point at the exploded head, and then it left through the same portal.
Ah, so you
So
did not
it
slay
wasn't
the
there when we
creature.
got there, but it showed up once we woke our friend here up.
Your friend. Interesting.
It was I mean, it's just a turn of phrase.
Matter of
Not,
expression, of course.
Of course. Customs of other planets. How silly of me. So there was a threat that was aware of this presence that you awoke? Can you tell me what went through your mind that motivated you to wake this creature?
oh, we
Help me
wanted to find out
understand
what
the
it was
thought
doing
process.
here.
In the same way that we want to find out what you're doing on the planet, right? Our job, our goal, really. We come from a place called Eberron. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but
Yes, we've heard the name.
it's ways away, and our goal is to make contact with any species that we that are any intelligent species that we can make contact with, and try to establish some type of, you know, relationship in a neutral capacity or even a friendly capacity. Something that we would extend to you all. But in our efforts with this creature, of course, didn't go out, didn't plan it so well. So. It seems that you have history with these types of creatures, though. If you'd like to expand on that, I'd like to. I'd be interested. If we have to deal with this again, which we might, given that his their head exploded. Love any information that we could get.
For every light in the world, there is a darkness. Her eyes kind of drop to the creature. In this world, the virtues of purity and absolution and resistance against temptation of corruption are antithetical to the creature that you see in front of us. This creature represents everything that we so want to remove the temptation from others who may fall victim to its nature of invoking savage distortion of one's inner self. Our people have been at odds with the creature that you see before you and the creatures of its likeness for since time immemorial. So it is of great concern that one or multiple of these creatures have landed and found us on our small sanctum here. It is troubling. I imagine that it is troubling gratitude a great deal. We must have let
Certainly
the
is
elder
troubling.
will not be pleased, but have our thanks in bringing this information to us.
Of course, I think if any solace, if it brings you any solace, of course. Again, I believe that this ship came here by chance, purely by chance, drifting through the cyberspace. But I do have a question, Patience. And if you'd allow me a question, I might be naive here, maybe overstepping my bounds. And please, if I am, stop me and tell me I am overstepping. But I'm interested. We of course visited the town of Harmony. Beautiful place. They have a lot of bosses of no fighting. A boss of innovation. It seems like they're a very thriving society. Same thing with Puros. A beautiful society, lots of culture there. But I am curious on the other cities that have gone away due to like maybe violence or some sort of that. Where do the people go?
I'm terribly sorry. I know of other creatures that inhabit the planet, but I have never left the Sanctum of Peace. I cannot speak
Oh,
to affairs that occur outside. You'll have to ask um, the Disciple of Humility on those matters, as he regularly visits the races that inhabit this planet. I'm sorry, I wish I could provide you more information, but I simply have no idea.
no, direction is perfect. I genuinely appreciate that patience. Thank you.
Of course. I hope he can help you. That sounds troubling, but yes, you'd have to speak
Maybe
with the
not, of
Disciple of
course.
Humility.
Yeah, it might not be sinister in nature. It might be very, just like you said, the atonement. It might be something of that nature. But well, I'll ask the disciple of humility. Thank you.
Of course. Um, it is at this moment that the door opens again, and the Disciple of Gratitude is flanked by the Disciple of Humility and the Disciple of Forgiveness. And as the door opens, the Disciple of Gratitude comes in, and he stands at the doorway with a bit of a frown. Um, says, "Friends, I'm afraid I have some bad news. I am incredibly grateful that you brought this news to us, as I must report it to the Disciple of Absolute Peace, who we wish not to disturb, except for grave matters such as this. But the Disciple of Humility has given me some troubling news. That this is not the first aberration of its kind that your party have seen, and while this creature seems to have been slain either by your hands or by one other's, I'm told that there is another threat on this planet that you may have knowledge of. So, it is at this moment I give you two options. You may present yourself to the elder disciple of absolute peace and explain yourselves in full, or you must leave this planet immediately. The second option is not normally an option we give to individuals. However, your status as an interplanetary traveler allows you this grace. I ask that you practice gratitude and humility that you've been given this second option, and that you take the disciples of patience value in weighing for the next 3 minutes your decision in this room. I shall close the door. We shall not intercede. But when I open this door in 3 minutes, you must immediately give me an answer within 30 seconds. Come, Patience. Disciple Patience kind of scoots by you
Yep.
and walks
Watch
out
out,
the door.
Javi.
And the Disciple Gratitude closes the door and locks the door.
Oh no.
Well,
Wonder who they're talking about.
Yeah, it's weird.
Um,
We can't say,
Or what
Javi.
they're
We
talking
can't
about.
say.
Mhm.
So, we bugging or what?
I think it might be smart to leave.
Or we could get to talking.
Don't know that
Third
there's much. The problem, I don't want to be detained.
I
Uh,
I also don't want to be detained. I do think there is some value, maybe in speaking to some type of elder here, but it's really a look I'll take. It's a gamble for you, so I think it's right that you at least get a say in what happens if we leave or if we talk. What do you feel comfortable with?
I think that it's a unique opportunity, and maybe he's got insight that we don't have. That's
uh,
what we do.
I guess my concern is that they're not going to be too receptive to any explanations we might give, and that kind of disturbs me that they don't seem to like communicate much with each other. Like, Patience did not know what was going on the planet at all,
Right.
and this humility guy, if you're listening, I'm talking about you. You know, if he's in charge of all the disappearances and whatnot, they don't even know about that, then it's just our word against his, right? We can't even like bring that up.
I think we have to think of the crew. You know,
Right.
I think anything that we do to endanger ourselves is one thing, but anything that we do that could endanger the ship and the crew, I'm not a fan of.
I will say, on the other hand, it is like somewhat encouraging that like since Patience doesn't seem to be aware of what humility is doing, maybe they're not all, part of this whole disappearance project thing they're doing. If they're not all like, heterodox in this regard, then
Right.
maybe there is some chance for negotiation.
Who's to say they don't blame us for fighting, for killing this cephalid, and use that as some excuse to detain us?
Well, I'd hope that they understand that we're telling the truth.
I think I'm
Come on,
leaning towards Toad's point.
let me try something real quick. My name is Brick. I'm gonna try to lie, real quick.
In this room,
Yeah, in this room, can I lie?
you can.
Ah, damn it. Okay, so no, there's no like zone of truth going on here. I thought maybe they had that up and that they didn't believe everything we said, but it seemed like that's the case.
Patience did not seem to cast any zone. The only spells that you noticed in here was Detect Good and Evil and
Gotcha.
Protection from Good and Evil.
It doesn't mean that we won't be asked to participate in one of those spells in front of their highest, like,
It's
leader.
true.
Yeah, and if they start asking about, Altaic, then well,
Here's the gamble. Here's the gambit, really. What we're doing, if we decide to speak to some elder, we are gambling what's left of Alaric and Altaic's current body. And that is, we are saying that not based on any type of merits that they would execute Altaic here, but just simply based off of who they are. Or it could stand to reason that we, under some type of zone of truth spell of some sort, we could tell them the things that Altaic has done for us. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're mostly positive. Saved our life 2 times now, I think. There's been a lot of good things, but I think even with that said, I still kind of I lean towards kind of what Toad's saying. I'm okay with putting my life at risk. If you're okay with it, that's awesome as well, but I am not okay with putting the crew's life at risk. We've done that too many times.
Should we vote on it?
I think so.
Sorry, I'll take. Did you have something to add?
No. I think the point is made.
Well, I vote we leave.
Rick?
I'm leaning towards leave.
Take?
Let's face the music. Stay.
Well, Captain, you're either the tide maker or the tide breaker.
I think it's decided. We leave. We maybe appeal to patience on our way out, but we take their offer with grace and gratitude and humility, and we leave.
Sorry, I'll take. I know you want to get answers here, but I don't know how much information we're going to be able to get from these people without putting you at pretty significant risk.
Right.
I agree. We may be able to come back in the future.
Now, is there
That's
anything that we could possibly do on the sly that we could try to find any more information out about this place? Anybody have anything that they could do here? Maybe any spells?
You have 60 more seconds of real time.
I got nothing.
On the way in, did we see any written languages that we didn't understand? Like my thought is that I might like cast a comprehend language on someone on the way out so that we could
There wasn't like posted signs anywhere. There may have been something in the books that other
is there
people were
anything
reading,
here?
but in this room, no, there is no text in this room. This room is blank. Actually, I take that back. The bottom of the statue is in a language that you do not recognize.
Okay. Then yeah. I'll take. It's like I think we'll need some insight on the way out. Toad, do you want to, as our archaeologist, would you like to, would you like an eye-opening experience?
Oh, sure.
I think I can cast comprehend language on someone else. No, it is self. Sorry, never mind.
Okay, are you
Ready for
casting
my
on
mind to
yourself?
be blown.
Yes,
You hear
I
the
am
door
casting
quickly. Okay. You quickly cast that as the door
No
opens
worries.
back up. It is time. What is your choice?
We will leave this place. I genuinely appreciate your hospitality, your patience with us, and I'm glad that you could accept our gift, our peace offering. But we will take your offer to leave and bid you adieu.
So be it. Follow us. You are escorted back out of the Cathedral of Atonement, flanked by humility, patience, gratitude, and forgiveness. Not a word is ushered to you as you begin to make your way out of the city. What are you doing while you're walking? Are you doing anything while you're walking? You are flanked in a square pattern as you're escorted out.
If Altaik isn't, I'm going to. I think actually, even if Altaik is, I'm going to flick my crown, my tiara, and I will also cast comprehend language,
Okay. All right.
just to see if I can read anything as we're
Okay.
walking out.
Yeah. So there is some writings. There are what I would equate to as religious teachings
Okay.
and maybe proverbs scrolled all along the city. Sometimes it's on a small sign in a park. Sometimes it's the name of a sign. But the majority of everything here is centered around self-reflection and growing oneself. Like the larger passages that you see is something that could be seen out of like a self-help book.
Is there a reference to why? Like, you know how like some churches are like based around like a saint or like a miracle or like a specific event. Is there like any indicator of like a historical figure, an event, or like a thing that they collectively believe they have sinned for and must repent for?
That's a great question. No role required because it's clear and apparent. So Altaik and Valerian, you can both comprehend languages right now, correct?
Right.
So the both of you are able to clearly get this sense of the community by its writing and by the cultural things that you can see littered around. Give a sense of if we as a people are worthy, we will return to absolute peace. And you know absolute peace is a place. It's a planar dimension. Because you guys did some research on this before. So it seems like these are encouraging things to bring the community into a sense of enlightenment, and that enlightenment will allow them to return home.
Is there an indication as to like why they
Why?
doubt, like what they have done or what in the past
No,
served as like their transgression?
not
Gotcha.
at all. There's not a single hint to anything of that nature. On the public writings, no.
Okay. Yeah, I think like the way, like from the first person perspective, like of Altaic, like using his psion, like because he doesn't have his casting wand, he's using his psionic like sorcery to do this. So it's like, especially in this like very bright corridor, all the lights going like out of focus. Like he's been like, I suppose like imagine like someone's been like pressing on his eyes, and then like it, as that resolves, it begins to, you know, take a literal and like a literal more clear and yeah, it becomes like more clear and like more saturated from his, like color saturated from his perspective. And there's a point where like he'll like speak to, you know, to the group as they're walking, like all this, you know, all this, you know, all of these buildings and, you know, stations marked in penitence and and forgiveness. I wonder what they've done. Must have been pretty big.
All right, Javi, keep it down.
Tell me, friend. You hear the disciple of humility in the front. Since when did you learn the language of the gods? That is an
Yeah,
interesting
Javi.
thing to learn. As a deckhand, quite convenient.
Something I can understand as well, actually. It's not as maybe complicated as you might think, but we've traveled a lot, so there you go.
It's in the names.
Ah, so
The
you...
symbol of forgiveness, humility, gratitude, patience. Either someone's teaching or someone's, or someone's got to be reminded.
You must have walked other lands of the gods, of the angels of this world, and yet you lack the internal humility to recognize your own folly by associating with those that would corrupt and change.
It's I think there is a lot to learn for us, the humility department, but maybe a lot to go around. Maybe not stalking individuals might be included in that.
The other woman walking to the rear of you, that you know colloquially as the disciple of forgiveness, speaks up and she says, "And we practice forgiveness for those that have strayed from the path. Isn't that right, humility?" You see his shoulders tense up for a second.
I don't.
Indeed. You're wise beyond your years, forgiveness. And that is the end of the
I also
conversation.
forgive you, humility, for causing us harm. Probably not intentionally, of course, but I appreciate what forgiveness is saying.
We shall speak no more of matters.
Of course.
Let us proceed out of the city, Gratitude says. And you are escorted out of the city.
We get our
You
weapons
Grab
back.
I got my rope before the
You-
on the roll rep
You
rack.
are given your weapons back, and you are given a very Gratitude with no mirth, completely neutral tone, very politely tells you that you have 10 minutes to leave the planet.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh.
shit.
Okay, hold on. We gotta run. Holy.
Okay. So you grab your things. You grab your gear untouched, unfucked with, as you all haul ass back to your ship. What's going on? The hell's happening?
Yeah.
Are we going to... Are we fighting? Who are we fighting?
Gus,
No.
walk out of here.
You got it.
Well,
Sit your ass in
Captain,
that
you're the one
chair.
who's gotta do
We're
that.
moving out.
Oh yeah, fuck. I'll run to the arbiter's chair.
All right. You direct the Dragonhawk ship to the skies, and with all haste, the clouds you pass through as you quickly and without any fanfare depart the planet of Therendor. Maybe some questions unanswered, some mysteries yet to solve, some missed opportunities, and yet you learned a thing or two. Therendor is a mystery that you have yet to learn all the secrets of, but for the time being, you have been banned from the planet.
Well, it
It
could have gone.
some.
It was honestly the most peaceful planet we've been to. It's kind of weird that it's the first one we got kicked out of.
Actually, yeah, that's a really good point.
Is there an indication of what was threatening us as we left? Like, were they traveling as like a host? Like, as the 10 minutes ticked down, was there some like great light emanating, or some power reading that we could?
There was a massing of celestials on the wall. And we're talking triple digits.
Cool. Right before we leave the atmosphere, I'm gonna go up to Rick and punch him in the shoulder.
Ow.
I just wanted to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We're good.
it hurt.
We're not,
Toad, we're off planet.
we're not dead yet.
No.
Are we still in the atmosphere?
I think so.
that
Yeah,
counts.
yeah. I
I
stopped.
think that counts.
God's thunder strikes down Valerian.
Unfortunate.
All right.
Roll up a
reroll.
new character, Moses.
Reroll. Oh shit.
I'll take watches this in like slow motion.
I mean,
No.
yeah, exactly. I imagine, Valerian is like he's flying in the arbiter chair. He's like, oh my god. He gets up and goes to find Rick, probably in the, just lounging around somewhere, just like Rick.
Ah, yeah.
And
What? What the hell?
and then I'll look around. Okay, we're good. Look, see? Look at that. No magical
Captain,
force.
you ruined it.
Nothing crazy. We're good.
You ruined it. Well, what was the bet for it? It was 10 gold.
I think it was 10 gold. I was looking for my notes, but I think it was that.
I forgot there was a bet. It's been so long ago.
We were so close. We were so close. I almost made a point, Captain.
Oh.
All for
happening?
nothing.
Guess had some money on something?
It was like watching. It's like all
It's
this
all
pressure
in-
escape.
It's all in the pursuit of science, I'll take. Okay?
I thought you were
all
about to
science.
transcend a pattern, but the cycle continues.
Cycle never stops.
Having like shed the like Javi persona and washed his face, performing I suppose his his cleansing routine now. He's a lot more relaxed, more lounging about. Until that moment that he sees that. Now he's just kind of draped, like emotionally exhausted. All of this talk of penance on their parts, they're so strict amongst each other. Even their disciple of humility referred to themselves, their writing as the writing of the gods.
Yeah.
Do they serve a greater deity?
Well, they also said, Patience, when we met her, said, I greet thee in the holy name of his light. Whose light?
Oh, I did not catch that. They came to this planet from another one, right? That they couldn't get back to. So maybe it's remnants of that, but I'll take. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't really see anything of a central deity or a one figure other than really the sanctum itself.
Even that arbiter they would have referred us to, I don't think they would have considered it their god. He's just kind of tracing his finger along the wall of the dragon hawk, just kind of wistfully. Like I suppose he's trying to recall like the writings of this language.
I think we did get the humility, the disciple of humility in the trouble. So that's a win for us, I'll take.
Yeah, that was very satisfying to watch. It was so hilarious to see the. It seemed truly that he needed to learn that lesson at that moment.
Yeah,
But-
it's not every day you get to see a disciple of humility be humbled, you know?
Well, they have that rehabilitation project that if
Atonement, yeah.
they don't uphold it, they're named after what they struggle with the most. So I think he probably needs a little more practice.
Do you think forgiveness can't forgive herself?
For what?
Oh. Patient seems pretty patient.
They did?
Which means if we follow this pattern, well, not really a pattern, but if patients need to learn patience, what are they hoping for? You know, what event or miracle are they hoping will arrive soon? What urgency are they feeling?
Did we leave the cephalid body?
Yep, they got
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were done with it.
That's true.
I guess we could have buried it.
Javi's just hastily stuffing it back in.
Okay, well, let me just put this back in.
Yeah, I'm gonna say in the heat of the moment it was left there.
Yeah.
So,
They did tell us something, though. There's something watching us?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's something we need to detect.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. The faith thing. That was very strange. I think it might be our previous captain, maybe keeping an eye for watch on us. But you know, when I looked at Toad, you know, their door. It was their door. Thalanis was. There was a lot of interested individuals there, and even before we left at the college, there was very interested Fae there as well, but they're just keeping an eye on us somehow. Same presence, the same uneasy feeling I feel with the cephalopod portal person coming to explode heads is the same I feel with this presence. Unless I hear something from Molly, you know what? I'll try to send them a letter. Maybe that'll help.
send
Yeah.
who a letter?
I will send Aaron, or I will try to start writing a letter to Aaron.
I would need to look up the rules of her spell. However,
I think once you write your name in her book, you can always cast sending to her first. But yeah, I'm not 100%.
yeah. Are you gonna try to send something to Aaron?
Not yet. I'm gonna write something down, and then I think Valerian will send it down.
You can post it in somewhere in the Discord, either during session or later. You may
I
or may
might-
not get a response.
Okay.
Did when Toad cast that spell earlier, Detect Evil and Good from their staff, did they pick up anything from Valerian?
Interestingly, no.
Toad's gonna cast it again and see if they can detect it now.
At what level are you casting this spell at? What level is this spell?
It doesn't say on the item. It just says.
What is it?
I,
If it doesn't say, I'm assuming it's the base level. Detect Good and Evil. 5e. It looks like it is a first level divination spell. Upon casting the spell again, let's do it this way. Because you know what you're looking for, or you have some idea, I'm gonna allow you an Arcana roll to see if perhaps you glean more insight from whatever this thing is.
Ugh, I will give you an inspiration.
No, that's not much better.
That is marginally better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you cannot detect whatever seems to be that was noticed by Patience. You cannot detect the same thing that she did.
Either it's gone or my abilities aren't strong enough to detect it, but I did not detect it earlier and I don't detect it now.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, maybe I'll try to talk to Roland about this. See if we can find out if there is something more sinister. Hopefully it is just Aaron, and can write it off, but thank you for trying, Toad.
Of course.
Okay.
So, we are about to get out of the orbit of Therendor. Where are we going? Do we want to go back to the Ring of Cerberus? Maybe to the library? Or are we good to continue?
Do we have any business to take care of?
The library might help us to get more context. But otherwise, I'm always a fiend for new experiences.
Altaic has never been to the library. You know of it because it's within your recent memory. You never need to make a roll. You'll usually never need to make a roll to remember something that's happened during this campaign because that's Alric's recent memory, and you have that.
Above table though, was there? I thought you guys said that you wanted to go back to the library. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was pitched as like instead of leaving the planet, we could go do this.
Right.
When we were running up against like, what were we gonna do next? I'm okay going to the library. I'm also okay just going to the next planet.
Going to ear.
Ear.
Here.
I agree.
I mean, yeah. I think it might be worth it to go to the library, then come back. Or if we're going to look at, we could look up first of all the cephalopods that we found, but we could also look up anything that mentions the Sanctum of Peace, so we can get a better idea of what to expect maybe next when we land on Therendor. It'd also give us a good little 10-day to do some downtime stuff if you guys want to do that. Otherwise, we just go to Ear and yeah.
Yep, we can go back to the library if you'd like. I guess Rick does need more content for his book club.
So above the table, travel times to go from Therendor back to the Three Rings of Volgarak, the library, and to come then head to Ear would take you 2 10 days.
2 10 days.
2 10 days.
Okay.
20 days.
Yeah, you guys want to spend 20 days, or do we want to just get a head start? I'm okay, genuinely okay with either way.
We're getting to the point where we're so far away that
Yeah,
it's a little prohibitive to keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
We
I
might
think
need to
as we
save
go
that for
further, it will be almost impossible for us to keep
Yeah.
going back and then coming back, you know? I think with Therendor, we're in that like little, like kind of nice little sweet spot a little bit, but yeah, if we if we go to like Ear, or basically if we go to every planet and then we come back to the Ring of Cerberus, we're going to lose a lot of time.
You're gonna extend your time for sure.
Well, the thing with Arendor too is that it was a very low conflict area. There's not much we need to recover from. So
Yeah.
That is
I
very
think
true.
it'd be good to have that information, but also we know that we're several planets out from running into, like, at least like the base of operations for the cephalopod.
Larvion.
Yeah, I say maybe we go to Ear, and then after Ear, depending on what we find there, of course,
If we need a
go back.
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, we go back. We go a little vacay, little tower action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, give the
Mhm.
crew a break.
Okay.
All right, onwards to Ear.
Onwards to Ear. Okay. We'll do some stuff here, and then we'll see where this goes, where we end the night. We're okay right now.
Of course.
Okay. So, it's going to take you a 10-day to get from Therandoor to Ear based on the map of the current rotational bodies passing around Eberron.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, based on that, 6.5, some average. We'll call it, it's dirty math in the space travel, but we'll call it a 10-day. Okay. So, day 1, is there anything that you guys are doing as you kind of begin your journey across the stars?
Yeah. Altaik will be focusing on his desire to kind of like mimic Toad's like wild shape, like taking that as inspiration. And the recent attempts to like disguise him and like affect his his presence in multiple planes. There's like a growing fascination with like being able to like shift and like mold themselves.
Are we about to have a sorcerer druid multi-class?
Ooh.
Okay. All right. I want you to message that in D&D info. I'm gonna have all you guys message what you're working towards in D&D info. Or, yeah, we've kind of had too many crossovers. Maybe should I make like just like a dedicated? Well, D&D info is where we've done downtime activities before, right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could just consolidate it all to D&D and put and make sure that we keep
Yeah.
that
Let me
to downtime stuff.
Yeah, let me rephrase this. So that way, like, if you guys are like notes chats, should I make something else? I can rename some of these channels, right? So I think D&D info, I'm going to change to D&D downtime.
Okay.
And then I'll do that. So that makes it a little bit more clear and apparent what's going on there. And then sometimes you guys put notes of things of that nature. I post them to you in handouts. I think I also occasionally do it in character chat.
Yeah, character chat is where we have like a lot of the above the table like names and stuff like that.
But also character chat is what is showing on the recordings.
Right.
So I think an in-character chat is specifically, I'm going to hide this channel because this one's not really used much anymore. Well, I'll get to that later. How about this? I will make another... Yeah, this is in-character chat. What do you guys think? Thoughts? Opinions? Because I'm kind of stuck on how to fix this.
Sure, I think D&D
just having
downtime is fine.
Yeah, having a dedicated D&D downtime channel, I think is good.
Okay, so just changing that makes the easiest way to do it, and then you guys put whatever names or whatever. Okay, sounds good. So, yep, Altaik's already on the move. All right, Well,
I think for
whoever
character
wants to
chat,
jump
we
in
put,
next.
like anything that would be relevant to like since that's what's being on the record or on the recording, like anything that's relevant or that needs more explanation.
Yeah.
To any like objective viewer, which
Names, anything specific like that.
Exactly.
If you were messaging the DM to handle something about the table, yep, I've occasionally put like narrative things of like smaller pieces of like NPCs saying something or doing something while you guys are talking, and I don't want to interrupt you, but it's not prevalent to the situation. Okay, yeah, cool. So let's go around the table then. I'll take that's day 1. Valerian, Rick, and Toad.
I think that'll be like his long-term project
Long-term.
work.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Valerian is as he mostly in the pilot spot, but any spare time that he has, he is working on working with Roland, and then sometimes working himself in the captain's chamber or whatever chamber he has to himself. But he's working on a spell, and that is what he is mostly doing for the 10-day.
Rick and Toad.
Is there anyone who has a tier 1 item that they want upgraded with the refinement oil?
How many more of those do you have?
It just says that the material cost is 2 spell slots per day, an herbalism kit, and an open flame, and the magic item.
But there wasn't a specific specified quantity of the refinement oil, right? I think you guys got a good
It just takes
amount.
20 days.
Yeah, I think you guys got a good amount of it. So I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm not gonna limit your amount of it. It's more so it just requires time and resources. So yeah, you have
and
enough.
if there was like a recipe, I don't think one was given to us. So
Yeah, it's just it's a finite supply, but it's a rather large supply. So yeah, it'll really be like when you're trying to use it on a larger scale. That's when it really come into play. So yeah, for right now, that's an infinite resource until it becomes finite.
I could get started on it if anyone has something. I've used it on my Sappho Flowers and also on Valerian's Voltage Greatsword.
Maybe Rick's sword.
I would say in my sword like not tier 1 though.
Yeah, your sword is not tier 1. I believe that's at least a tier 2, if not a tier 3 sword. So your sword will not qualify in this scenario.
Sorry, Toad. My sword is too good for your oil.
Let's see.
I know we left there, Endor.
I will also supplement that you can use that item on common NPCs that you have travel off the ship with you too. Not saying you have to, but all of their items are tier 1.
You want to oil up Gus's
ring
guns?
of aura shielding?
Oh, Gus's guns would be nasty.
Oh, that's interesting. Would it work on the Ring of Aura Shielding?
It may, because that is considered a tier 1.
It says tier 1 weapon, armor, or potion.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll say this. Because it was an already made item, I will say that you can use it for this specific item because it was made and it's already an experimental item. So I'll allow the refinement oil to be used on this ring because Rowan can help you with the differences between using it on like imbuing and pulling out the properties of a weapon versus this magical item because he's the one that made it, he knows. So for this specific non in that category, I'll allow it.
Okay. It takes 20 days, so I'll get started on it this time, and then I'll finish it in another 10 days.
A point of note, if you're starting on day 1, that means you don't know, I'll take, how long the ring actually lasted until, because you take it off before it expires.
Okay.
But potentially the oil remedies the issue in the whole as a whole.
What is it like to apply the oil? Is it just like, submerging it in the oil? Is it is it like a lacquer or like stain applied over time? Is it like a polish that like jewelers might?
I imagine it like almost like seasoning a cast iron pan, right? Like you're like applying a layer, letting it soak in, and then the next day coming back, applying another layer. Like it's absorbing the magic from the refinement oil and from the spells that are being channeled into it.
I like that a lot. They like applying the oil and then like using some other.
I love the
process,
chef
like,
reference.
magic. Yeah.
I'll take and Toad, please both take inspiration, because that was a cool little narrative moment.
Nice.
Okay, and Rick.
I got nothing. Not for 2 days.
Yeah, well, this is just day 1 of the 10-day. So if you're starting on a project, you can indicate it now. And I'll take already did it, but Valerian and Toad, if you could just summarize that in your D&D downtime in writing as well, just so I don't forget it.
Yep.
Because we'll go through that out of game.
Sounds good. Did you get a lot of literature from the Sovereign Host Dionysia?
We got that book.
That one book.
We got that one book.
That somebody else won and gave to you.
Yep. That's true.
Hey, one of us also won the whole planet, one could say. It was me. I won the 10 gold of the whole
Yeah.
Wait, there was a bet?
Yes, and I almost won. Oh, why, Captain? Why did you have to resort to violence? Communicate through poetry.
I'm a man of science. I need to understand the inner workings of this planet, and getting instantly smited as you inflict violence was one of my questions. So,
science indeed. I'll take a pouting. Well.
Okay.
An object at rest stays at rest.
So, Toad, I am making a note on this that you have not 10 out of 20 days. Because you only have 1 out of 20 days.
Oh, sorry.
Nope, I'm not mad at you. There's a narrative reason why. Because on day 2 of your travels, Valerian, the ship is pulled out of the high-speed travel inside of cyberspace. As you're traveling at your high rate of speed, another large entity, non-planetoid, halts your ship. And for those of you that were working on your downtime activities, being pulled out of, I don't want to call it hyperspeed, but being pulled out of your maximum speed without being prepared for it is a jarring experience. Everybody knows something's wrong.
Rick spills coffee all over himself.
How does this happen, Chris? So do we just instantly start slowing down gradually, or is it like an instant stop?
It's not an instant stop, but it is a rapid slamming on the brakes.
Okay.
And it is
and
outside.
At first, it's unknown of where the source is, right?
Correct. But as you are pulled out of your top speed of the stars passing you by, the sounds of explosions coming from other entities becomes clear and apparent.
Oof.
You have been pulled inadvertently into a battle.
Oh.
So the Dragonhawk is jolted from its high-speed travel in an area dotted with small asteroids, but what becomes clear and apparent is that you are not supposed to be here. You recognize the two ships. You recognize the types of two ships that are seemingly clashing. One of them is very familiar because you just explored the inside of this ship. The other ship, you only recognize due to series discovery of them orbiting around the planet that these cephalopods inhabited.
Oh. It's a big
You have
cannon ship.
Yes, the giant cannon ships that you saw glimpses of are firing their massive bombard cannon at the conch ship just several hundred feet away. You were pulled into this battle so close that you are within firing range of both of these ships. Your spell-jamming helm cannot operate at full speed while it's under interference of other spell-jamming ships. What do you do on day 2 of your trip towards here?
All I gotta say is that that cannon on that ship is massive. That is insane. But I think Valerian will call to the crew. Obviously, I think everyone is aware that we have rapidly stopped, but I think I'll call for the officers. We need some help. What should we do here, guys?
Don't we recognize that design?
I do. Yeah, I couldn't forget that one. That's the biggest cannon I've seen. Do we interfere?
I think he's talking about the other one.
Oh,
I think, well, the cannon, yes. The other one. yeah, that is what, you know, Altake's gaze will be like, oh, another one. We got a second chance.
Different priorities here. Jeez. Who's the good guy or the bad guy here?
The alarm sounds for battle stations as you prepare for whatever fight you do or do not intake during this combat. You see massive cannons firing off this bombard ship into the conch ship. The conch ship seems to be shooting out almost small pincer-like protrusions as if like a hedgehog firing their pinpricks that rattle the bombard ship.
Does it appear one is the aggressor and one is the defender? Is that obvious and apparent?
Make me a perception check.
I would love to do that, but I do have a -2, so that is an 8.
As you attempt to perceive who may be the ones firing what you're looking at, your attention is immediately shifted to the larger interstellar event occurring just behind the conch ship. Similar to the portal opened by the alien mind psionic creature, a portal was ripped into space. But you should not be able to see it from this distance. And you all realize that what is occurring in front of you is the portal that is ripped open is larger than your ship, is larger than the bombard ship, and larger than the conch ship. By orders of hundreds. What flows through this portal is nothing that can be described in words other than incomprehensibly large.
Oh.
What appears to be some sort of whale-esque creature. Tears through space at a high rate of speed that proceeds to open its mouth and take in the conch ship, the bombard ship, and is on a direct path towards the Dragonhawk. What are you doing before you get swallowed by the space whale?
My first action. As captain, I will say... Let me find it. Battle stations.
Too little, too late. You are unable to escape the path of this massive space whale. And the ship quickly gets pulled into the gullet of this whale.
Oof.
Valerian, I need you to make for the Dragon Hawk 3 separate Constitution saving throws. And as the person who has arguably additionally close connection with your co-pilot, Toad, I would like you to make 3 Constitution saving throws for Oak Blossom. As the ship is devoured by a whale.
What do I add to Oak Blossoms?
I will add the Constitution modifier. Don't worry.
Oh, I will use an inspiration to reroll.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's much better.
As you are getting consumed by this whale, your ship is made of wood. You feel the thrust capabilities of the Dragon Hawk, the power thrust driven by your connection with Oak Blossom and the mechanics in the ship break. That next 15, you feel the air circulated by Oak Blossom begin to fade, and the piping and ventilation materials inside the ship break. I need you to roll one more time.
So are we rolling? You said we're rolling 1 each or 3 each?
3 each, excuse me.
Okay, that second one was me.
I see that. Okay. That second one is Oak Blossom losing a significant root out of the side of the hull of the ship.
Oof.
Can Rick bless anybody here?
You have
Like,
an
actually
action.
cast the spell bless.
You
I
can
would
do
like
it.
to. I would like before as we're getting swallowed by this thing. I think Rick is gonna like do an actual prayer, and I'll cast. I mean, I'll cast a bless on the party members.
Okay, the party members? Okay.
Just yeah, Altaic.
That's Oak Blossom.
I mean, I don't know because I don't know how it works.
You can bless Oak Blossom. She's a sentient creature.
Okay, I will bless Valerian and Oak Blossom.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Right.
Would I know to bless Oak Blossom here?
I mean, the ship is being torn up to shreds.
I will bless the ship, and then in that case, Oak Blossom is
that
an
would be
avatar
Oak
for the
Blossom.
ship.
You would
So, yes,
understand
I
that you
will.
can do this. Yes.
Yes. I am going to. Yeah, no, it's just gonna be level 1 then, because I don't need to do any higher. It doesn't do anything really special after that, so I will do that.
Okay, I will say that counts for any future rolls, as you
Yes.
recognize that the ship is being torn apart. Okay.
That's actually huge.
All right, both Toad and Valerian, another Constitution saving throw, please.
Add on a D4, by the way.
Are we both adding a D4?
16.
Yes, you
I
can
think
both
so.
add a D4.
You only get it once.
Oh, massive.
That is massive. Okay.
Can I give one of my inspirations to Valerian for that second?
You absolutely
Dragon Hawk?
can. You have currently lost all power thrust ability on the ship. And with that 9, the ventilation integrated, the elemental ventilation assistance that helps Oak Blossom ventilate air inside the ship breaks. However, the damage to the hull does not directly damage Oak Blossom for these few seconds that you're falling into the gullet of this creature. You're starting to see, you're not looking at intestines and flesh. You're looking at solid land, and you don't have propulsion. You're heading towards it. Roll me one final Constitution saving throw, both of you, please.
we're heading towards like basically like an island almost.
You are heading towards some sort of solid land. You are moving fast enough that you cannot distinguish what you're about to hit.
Allie, do you have any more inspirations?
I do. I have one more.
I have an extra one. I can just give you that.
Well, we both need one.
I
Yeah,
will use
I'll
my
give
last
ya.
inspiration. No,
Oh, I
got
didn't
it.
see. I did not see
I
the
have
9
one.
there. Okay.
Yeah. I will use my last inspiration to reroll as well.
Okay.
Add your
I used mine, so
D4s.
no one gave me one.
Oh, and the D4. Sorry. Thank you.
I think they only get it the one time.
No.
Guidance
That's
or
guidance
blessing?
they're thinking about. Bless is 1 minute.
Bless is
Oh,
1
you're right.
minute.
Yeah.
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 go.
And add those. Oh yeah, give those 4s.
Massive.
Ooh.
Massive.
Uh,
So,
Chris, can I also ask, or can I also have Gus? Well, so you said that we're heading for land. Is there like, do we see the walls of this entity like on the sides of us?
you don't.
Like, can I shoot at something? Is what I'm asking.
There is nothing to the sides. It looks like the out
Interesting.
to the sides, it looks like space and sky.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
Allie, your roll prevents Oak Blossom from suffering crippling damage.
Nice.
However, Moses, your roll, Valerian, enough damage passes into the hull that the gravity plane of your ship is disrupted. You are all lifted into the air and slammed into the ground. Everybody suffers 15 bludgeoning damage as you slam into the hulls. And then you strike a solid surface.
Oh my.
The ship does not have a good landing. You
Oh no.
strike solid land, and the crew collapses out of what remains of the ship. Oak Blossom is hurt, but she is alive. But the ship is severely damaged. The Dragonhawk has suffered a fatal blow at the hands of whatever the hell just swallowed you.
You say fatal. Now, Oak Blossom's alive, right?
Oak Blossom is alive.
The Dragonhawk might not be.
Dragonhawk is almost disintegrated, it seems like. Is that right?
The Dragonhawk has suffered major disrepair, and critical infrastructure has been damaged.
Okay.
Welcome to the inside of a Kindori.
Kindori.
How are we? How is like the crew members on the ground? Do we take damage here?
So,
Yeah, let's adjudicate this real quick.
Yeah.
yes. So, the crew that was on the upper levels, which would be the 4 of you, typically, except Rick, I believe you usually spend your time during battle stations below deck, right?
Yeah.
You would have been at a scenario where you took that. Actually, I lied. You do not take that 15 damage.
Nice.
The crew that was below the top deck, so they were stopped by the interior, like upper wall and lower wall, they only took single-digit hit point damage.
Okay.
So including you, you would only have taken 4 damage. So the crew is bruised and battered, but they're all alive. However, those that were on the top floor, including Gus, Zephyr, Ethne, Lila, and I believe Phantom, would have taken that 15.
Nope, not like this.
Insigne.
I think as we get spit out, if we are like kind of like stumbling around, I'm going to immediately get to Phantom and then check on Oak Blossom.
I think Rick is gonna start doing some doing triage.
Triage? Okay.
Triage.
Okay.
He's gonna look for Craft, because that's the only thing he can think of is like, I need my assistant.
As you all stumble out of the Dragonhawk, you spot your Hadozi assistant, dazed but relatively unhurt. And he looks at you, and he sees the look of intent in your eyes. And he stretches out his limbs, and he just nods to you and goes to your side.
Okay, we need to get all the seriously injured people in one section. I can cast a prayer of healing. Anyone else that just has bumps and bruises needs to start helping Valerian out with the recovery operation.
You heard the doc. Get the fucking moving.
I'm gonna start, trying to find people that are seriously injured, and if they're not seriously injured, I'll direct them to follow Phantom as Valerian's flying away on him.
Okay. The most severely damaged are the ones that were on the top deck, so the ones to the south of you. The ones to the north of you all are mostly unscathed. Like I said, bumps, cuts, bruises, a couple hit points. But
yes.
With your constitution saves, you weren't able to save the ship. You were able to save your crew. If you had rolled below 10s, we would have been doing casualty reports.
No. Jesus H.
So,
Toad's
yes.
gonna look for like a high vantage point and just keep an eye out, look for any trouble.
There seems to be remnants of a building to the direct west of you. And it's on an elevated platform. It's about 20 feet up, and you can climb up onto the older walls. So I can place you in there. You can climb up to the walls to about here, and you can see inside this. It looks like a building. There is stone, albeit looks incredibly old. But you can climb up and look around to see what's around you. And what you see is a whole lot of damage.
Do I see signs of the other ships?
Make me a perception check. You see smoke rising from one point. You can't see over the hills around you, but you see smoke rising a couple miles away. To you, it looks like miles. But you only see one plume of smoke. Northwest.
Okay.
You seem to be at a Y fork with this building. There seems to be a valley that heads to the north, a valley that heads to the west, and a valley that heads to the south. Valerian, you attend to Oak Blossom, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, I also wanted to. I'll join Valerian in that endeavor.
Okay. As you check on your elder Freont-esque companion, limbs are broken everywhere. But her trunk is still firmly attached to the base of what remains of the Dragonhawk. It seems like the majority of the hull damage is centered on the northeastern portion. I don't remember port or starboard. It's clear and apparent from the imagery that you're seeing. So the Dragonhawk has embedded itself into the sand and dirt and is sticking out at about a 30-degree angle. So as you climb up to the rubble, Oak Blossom appears to be unconscious. But you see signs of life in her branches.
I'm gonna break away any branches that are kind of like hanging on or look like they are tangled up, anything like that. And I'm just gonna try to make sure that they are as comfortable as possible. That is my only goal here.
Do we see signs that that her life is actively threatened, like a wound weeping sap, or like other gashes?
Roll me an Alaric history check.
Okay.
So, what does that make that a 12?
Yes.
You draw back on Alric's memories of studying elder treants of her nature, and other various tree folk used to power or conceptually powered Ondarian ships, and the basics of understanding the health and wellness of the tree. The immediate sign of life-threatening issues is the loss of leaves on the top of Oak Blossom. You do not see that here. What you see is damage to the roots attached to the hull. So it looks like her connection with the ship is severely damaged. However, her life force is clear and visible in that her leaves have not started dying and falling off in most places. It looks like what damage was done to her leaves was done as a result of the crash. When you need to be concerned the most is when leaves start falling and dying, when she's not actively being attacked. And you are not seeing that here. So you conclude that her life is not in danger.
Yeah, huge relief to Alteg as he reports that to Valerian.
Oh, thank God. Okay, let's I think we unbury her. We make her as comfortable as possible. She is a lifeblood. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yes, sir. Is there sunlight? Is there light?
There is...
Or what is the light source?
Yeah, so there
Yeah,
is...
true.
There is light seemingly emanating from the top of the whale? It looks like you are under a starry night. And there is moonlight emanating. But there is no moon in the sky. So it appears to be the dim light of moonlight around you all.
There's some reflective light, presumably from other stars. Maybe that'll indulge her growth and repair. What else? We need access to soil and water.
Right. Let's go. See if we can salvage any supplies from below deck, and we are looking for water, nutrients for Oak Blossom. Majority of it, okay? Find something else, of course, perfect, amazing, wonderful. But that is our goal, okay?
Yeah. Altaic will search, and his like priority is to like mend like a leaking, like or to cast mending on like leaking vessels of those like of
Very
of supplies
smart.
necessary.
Very
for-
smart.
Actually,
You are able
really
to
smart.
you are able take an inspiration. That's an excellent idea, because without that you would have lost all of your water. With the water that you're able to salvage, you're able to salvage 2 tons of water, because you had 4, so you've lost half your water in this wreck. Also, unfortunately, I need you to roll me a d4 because some of the food was in chests and it has a limited lifespan. You lose 1 ton of your food, so you have 3 tons of food remaining.
Oof. I was prepared to have 1 ton of food.
Yeah.
Okay.
While this is going on, Rick is casting a prayer of healing. It does take 10 minutes.
Excellent.
So
Okay.
let me know if anything interrupts us while that's happening.
Nothing interrupts you while this is happening. It seems
Okay.
like there is no signs of life outside of your crew in this area. It seems to be abandoned by the looks of everything around you. And your prayer of healing affects up to how many entities?
6.
Just
up to
anyone
6.
within the range? Up to 6?
Up to
Okay.
6, yes. Which
Okay.
I don't think is... Yeah, I'm going to miss some people here. So if I have the time, I will continue doing prayers of healing.
Okay.
I will spend as many as it takes.
That's our doctor.
Here's another one. 18 this time. So anyone who didn't
Oh, massive.
get... The one person in this group that didn't get the heal gets the 18, and then another 5. Anyone who is not topped off from the 9 before. I imagine most aren't. It's basically an order of who is the most injured gets the healing twice.
With that prayer of healing, you are able to... I'm pressing the plus sign to add these, so I have to make sure like the recording's going to have me muted for 2
Make sure
seconds.
you're not muted, dog.
I have to be very careful about this. There, I am not muted. Okay. Are you including yourself or any of your party members, your shore crew party members, in these prayer of healings?
Just the severely injured.
Okay.
Or the more injured of the crew.
Looking at health bars, it looks like Toad would have been the 6th person to receive that. But Toad, are you staying up there to keep an eye out?
I think Toad's staying up top to keep an eye out, yeah.
Okay. Zephyr will fly up and join you, perch up there to keep just an eye out for any threats.
Oh, Zephyr, you disappeared. Come back. Oh, thank goodness.
Zephyr doesn't say anything, but he just sits next to you, nods, and keeps an eye out in the directions that you aren't facing.
Okay.
Armos.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
After recovering, Armos does the drop to his knees in front of the Statue of Liberty in Planet of the Apes.
I know, and Armos. I know you only joined up just recently. You thought every time would be like Therendor, but I promise you, it's never been this bad. Okay.
I
How's
just
Savina
fixed
holding
the
up?
shit that Elric couldn't fix.
Poor guy.
On that note, though, let's start pulling out supplies and setting up camp, people. Anyone that's not already tired, any help would be great. Oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, Doc's got the right idea. All right, folks, grab some gear, grab what you can, and set up inside. Toad, is that building secure?
Yes, there's a plume of smoke to the northwest of us, but we're kind of alone here.
Copy. We'll make do with what we got. All right, everyone, move inside. Get into some shelter.
Is this the little pathway up there?
Yeah, that is a pathway up there. So the crew assembles inside the shelter of this strange ruined... now that you're inside, it kind of looks like a ruined fort.
Is there enough light to see, or is it just enough to see in front of you, or is there enough light that we can see like pretty good?
It's dim light, overcast everywhere, so you should be able to... Let me just go ahead and I'll just make this easy, and I'll reveal everything on this map, because there's really nothing... There's no need for you to worry about walls or anything like that.
Okay, gotcha.
So, you're stranded inside of a space whale.
First time.
First time?
It's my first time.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Oh God.
pardon me. All right,
Oh,
so
goodness.
you're attempting to salvage what you can from the ship, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. At least as far as the cargo inside. So I'd
Alright.
like, Rick, I'd like you to roll me a d4, and then we'll have Valerian roll me a 1d2, and then Toad, I'd also like to have you roll me a 1d2.
Question: Is Belle amongst the survivors currently, or the
Yeah, is
recovered?
Belle okay?
Oh,
Do you want to make a roll for Belle? Belle was lower level.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Yeah.
assume that Belle did not take serious damage.
Belle can float.
Belle can
probably was
float.
fine.
that's true.
I'm
That
going to
is very
say that Belle is fine.
Oh
Okay.
gosh.
What a good
So,
guy.
Rick, they were able to recover 3 tons of ammunition from the ship.
Okay.
Valerian, they were able to recover 1 ton of repair materials, which is pretty helpful right now.
Yep.
And finally, Toad, you were able to somehow miraculously save the alcohol distillery equipment.
Yes. Yes.
God. Oh my god, that would have been tragic.
And you saved the piano.
Oh,
No purple worm meat, though,
Needs
huh?
a tune. Tune to fuck shit. But it's
No,
saved.
the purple worm meat's bad.
Do we unfortunately have to get some new meats, possibly?
So,
on this desolate?
you
DM,
have
please,
3
I'm begging.
tons of food.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to roll me a d4, and if that 4 is 4, the purple meatworm is the food that was lost.
No, no.
I think you should roll it to.
All right. Oh, please don't be a 4. Oh, it's a 4.
Yeah.
Ah, we're not.
Yes!
Yes! Oh, no! Yes! No!
Unfortunately,
Rich
all the purple
players
worm
are
meat was
after.
stored in the northeast side of the ship.
Oh,
All I left is
Toad.
bear meat.
Okay.
Don't look at Phantom. Don't look at Phantom.
The crew will get hungry and will not be satisfied with just potatoes.
Okay. So,
Is it that
The
it's
sh-
gone, or is that it's like spoiled, or like scattered
it was
and like
it
not
was
usable?
scattered during the crash.
Okay.
So,
It was
so it's
ripped out during
recoverable.
free fall.
Oh.
And like the other 2 tons of water are likewise like spilled and
Spilled,
like we're not
yes.
okay.
Yeah, not salvageable.
I would like to put out my. Hold on. I got it. That I won from our.
Oh.
Nice.
Mm.
So we have at least 4 beds. And there's water. That's good for medicinal reasons.
Absolutely. Some creature comforts during this awkward time of being stranded. So, you need to leave.
Yup.
But I just put up my tent.
I think that's a cat. Hold on a second. I think my cat is banging at me. No, it is.
It was just the wind?
It was just the wind.
Okay, Skyrim, chill out.
Must be,
Yeah.
must be the wind.
Must have been the wind.
Okay. So,
For the Fight
Well-
Club reference? Ah, primo.
little hiccup in your journeys, in your travels.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
This
What
is
could
par for the
go
course
wrong?
here, guys.
Yeah, we don't have a ship anymore, but
It's home now.
Ugh.
So, it takes you, as you guys are kind of recovering from this significant incident, you're taking a couple hours to just rest, check on the crew, check on each other. Armos is attempting to do an evaluation of the damage to the ship.
Almost, I think it's unfortunately gone.
Don't say that.
Cap, I got
What do you
good
think,
news
buddy?
and bad news. Which one you want to
Hit me
hear?
with the bad news. Hit me with the bad news. Hit me with the bad news here, almost.
We got 3 major pieces of infrastructure that we cannot repair with the materials we have on site.
Okay.
Not good.
Good news?
Good news. Good news is I think we have enough repair materials and enough arcane power to repair the hull.
But not
But it's going
the
to take
sail?
time. May be able to repair the dragon wings. I don't have a good answer on that yet, but at the bare minimum, I can get us something that can go through the skies. But I'll tell you what, some of our critical stuff is fucked.
What do we, what's the material we're looking for here, almost? Give it to me straight here.
It's less about parts, and it's more about fixing the parts we have. The materials that created these pieces, we can't just go buy, import, or scrounge around here.
Can't salvage, yeah.
So here's the three biggest pieces that are broken.
Alright.
The machine that powers the ventilation of Oak Blossom's air channels,
The atmosphere,
creates and
okay.
circulates our air envelope, has a significant crack in the alloy that we need to repair.
Right?
Normally, that's done at a master blacksmith's forge. I don't know where the hell he's going to find that here.
Alright, next.
Our power thrust capacity, the insulating device that keeps the fire elemental in the environment that it's stuck in. If we try to power the fire elemental in this state, it will crack the cage and we will have a loose fire elemental on the ship, which is not a fun fucking
Okay.
time.
Yep. Alright. Containment, okay, what else?
This is where I'm completely out of my league of expertise. The gravity plane that's created inside the ship is done by a specific piece of metal enchanted that flips gravity upside down about halfway through the ship. That's cracked. Gotta fix that too. But that particular energy can't just be done in a forge. That has to be done with graviturgy magic saturating the environment that it is forged in.
Interesting. So, let's say that we don't have that armor. So what happens then? We just start floating in the ship, or what? We don't have any
Well,
gravitational pull?
We have no gravity whatsoever, and we are stuck to whatever gravity in the cyberspace that is pulling us the most. So whenever we're passing by a planet, we'll all get slowly pulled to the left side of the ship or the right side of the ship.
Okay.
And if we happen to
those three... Yeah?
if we happen to enter a gravity plane of another ship, I don't know what the hell would happen.
Now those three things that you said, what can we live without? What are we prioritizing here?
Boss, those are the priority ones that we can't live without. Everything else is
Alright.
being put on the back burner.
Alright, well,
I
listen.
ain't
you get
touching no damn piano right now.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out something. In the meantime, number one priority. Everything else you said, number two priority. Number one priority is Oak Boss. You understand that?
Yes, Cap.
All right. Number one priority. Number two priority, you take care of that stuff any way you see fit. Any way that you can get this ship back into flying capacity, you do that. You take anybody you need, You take any of the deckhands, anybody. Take them. Officers too. I'll help you with my bare hands if I need to. But that is priority number 3. Okay?
Yes, Captain.
Right.
All right.
Well, let's get to it.
Yep. All right. So he designates rotating crews of individuals to begin sorting out the hull damage and taking and recovering and salvaging as much as what was broken, and understanding and identifying the repair materials that are on hand. So repair and reconstruction has begun, but he has no idea where to start with those 3 crucial pieces that are broken.
Yeah. What time of day is it? Like, should we be tired? Like, was it nearing the end of the day, or was it like midday?
It was about when the crash occurred. It was near the beginning of your shift, so it would have been near the morning times. So I would say it's about midday to afternoon by the ship's clock now.
Okay. All right. Well, I will leave him to it, and I think I'll gather the officers plus Gus. Well, all the officers, I think. And plus I'll take, I should say. And yeah, guys. I'll tell them what I was told. You know what our critical missions are here, and what we need to get. So I think that's what we're after. I don't know anything about our lands or where we're at, but we need to find at least a blacksmith of some sorts. We have to find some graviturgy. I know a little bit, but not very much. Yeah.
Well, I think that we saw 2 other Spelljammer craft. Do we know if we saw them also swallowed by this creature?
They were indeed swallowed by the whale.
If that's the case, it might not be an issue of repair so much as replacement. And you know,
I'm okay with that. I'll take, but I want to be very clear here. There is no replacement for Oak Blossom. We are not leaving Blossom. She was part of the crew.
oh, I was thinking of replacing the parts. You're absolutely correct. Will be, this.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, even if we could find both of those ships, we can salvage parts from one and then keep the other. I don't mind adding to our fleets or really making a fleet, but that is our number 1 priority, is to keep Oak Blossom safe. But that is actually a fantastic idea. We should look for these other ships.
Well,
Who else is involved in this competition? Is everybody?
Yeah, all you guys and Gus,
Okay.
I think.
I'm gonna say, aren't they gonna be doing the same thing?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, they would. Depending on how their ships run, of course, right? So, like, you know, we've learned that spelljamming ships can come in all different flavors. So they might not need to repair, or they may have done a safer landing. But it's a good point. We should keep an eye out for anything hostile or hostiles towards us. Period.
I'll make sure there's a security detail on watch.
I saw a plume of smoke. Potentially one of the ships that crashed. If we wanted to go looking, we could start there.
It's
With
fantastic.
Toad, do you have an idea for a scouting party?
Sure. I mean, I'll go, and I can take whoever. I will take maybe Effie and Lila, or perhaps just
Correct
Lila.
me from.
More stealthily.
Okay, so you want to take Effie, or excuse me, not Effie or Lila? Are you intending to fly?
want the crew. I don't want anyone to go by themselves. I can't fly.
Yeah,
I
you
can summon
can.
creatures to fly.
Yeah, I'm about to say you kind of can.
Well, Phantom, I could help with.
Is there any way to get there on ground if you wanted to be stealthier?
True.
That's my biggest concern is stealth. So I would rather go on foot, but I don't know. It was miles away. It was quite a distance.
So maybe we do the same thing that we do with the dragon. We get to a distance that we feel is comfortable, and we walk the rest of the way. We could bring Phantom, so we can have a little bit, take a little bit less off of you, Toad. And I would say us officers go. Maybe have Lila come with us, so we can find, so we can salvage.
I can summon. Hold on. I think I can just summon 2 for us to fly on. Yeah, I can summon 2 giant eagles, but that's all.
Okay, Phantom is large. Phantom can have 2. So you have 3 available mountable creatures between just the crew and Lila, right? Or just the shore crew and Lila?
Oh, are we all going?
I don't know who's
I
all
was thinking-
going.
I was thinking scouting party, like lightweight, check it out, come back, and then we see if we bring in
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
like Rick
I
is
can-
like, I'm gonna stay here if you guys are gonna go. 'Cause
Well,
we need
totally,
we need
you-
some kind of officer to stay behind.
Yeah, that is a really good point. I thought we were all going to go right now, but yeah, Toad, if you want to save your spells, of course, come with me and Phantom. We can us 3 go and scout, see what we can find.
That actually works because I can maybe make us a little stealthier.
It's perfect.
And I will cast Without a Trace on those of us who are going once we get ready to leave.
I guess I'm acting captain right now.
That's right. That's right. You got this.
Y'all have fun now.
If Oak Blossom is dead when I get back, I will cry real tears. I want
Okay,
you to know that, Rick.
That's not gonna happen.
Real tears.
She's going to be very alive. I am assured.
We're gonna be attacked immediately after they leave.
Yeah.
Alright, so is it just Vorian and Toad? And just the 2 of you with Phantom?
I think so, unless you have a better idea to.
No, that works for me.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, the sky above you appears like it doesn't have any significant ceiling, even though you're inside of a space whale. Fucking weird interdimensional space whales, am I right? Alright.
Yeah. Fucking
So-
space whales, man.
I would like a... guess... we'll do a group... How do you guys want to do it? You guys want to do a group stealth check, or just a stealth check from Phantom with the bonus? I'll give you the choice.
Phantom stealthy.
Phantom is +2 for stealth.
He's literally named Phantom.
It's true. Definitely not after Jon Snow's ghost.
Mm-mm.
I'm not stealthy. so
I am
it
also
could be fun.
not very stealthy, so
All right,
I think
Phantom.
Phantom
you'll
is
stretch.
perfect.
Alright, so Val, go ahead and roll. We'll just add a +10. It would just be a
Add plus
dexterity
10,
check.
No.
Rick is gonna yell as they're leaving, and make sure you don't mess up. And I'll give him an inspiration.
I'll allow it.
I
Oh,
almost want to let it ride just to see, just to see.
Phantom doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He starts flying in
He's just
circles.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't
Okay.
keep it quiet. I just...
So
So
23.
23.
Okay. So, you take to the air, and you begin flying to the north-northwest, following the path carved into the rocks. The smoke, as you're getting a better picture of it now that you're at a higher altitude, looks to be about 2-ish miles away.
Okay.
So, as you proceed, as you get kind of literally a bird's eye view of the ground around you, it's almost like someone took a puzzle set of different puzzles and tried to fit them together. So you see the rocky, barren area that you're at. You're spotting far off, maybe what remains of, like, kind of more to the south of you, like, maybe that looks like a crashed airship? You're not sure. It's some sort of ship, but you're proceeding northwest towards the smoke clouds. As you're proceeding towards the smoke clouds, there's a large area of this jigsaw, not fitting quite together puzzle piece that seems to be completely enveloped in shadowy darkness. And it seems like the light barely filters through this area that has, like, mist around. So you can see as you fly over, I don't believe, I will go ahead and pull you really quickly to this map that you can see as you fly over it. Let me grab the three of you. I'm just going to do it this way so I can copy and paste all three of you. So, my two other players, sorry, you're going to be blind for a second here. You're flying over this strange shadowy surface that appears to have, like, some sort of river running through it. It's almost misty, and it almost feels like a haunted graveyard. But you hear sounds and yelling. Both of you can make me a perception check at this point.
Blind or public?
Let's do blind. Thank you for asking. Toad, you spot through the mist and point out to Valerian what looks to be a group of soldiers. They seem to be firing weapons, loud weapons, similar to... The only thing that you could think of is Gus's arcane pistol. But it's a longer version of that. And they're firing it at some unseen creatures, some unseen threat. And they seem to be yelling out to each other commands. As you peer through the mist more, you get a sense of an idea of what these creatures look like, because they're not human. They look like the large stature of your elephantoid friend and crewmate now. The large stature of that creature, however, this is what in our world we would reference as an hippopotamus. And they're firing what appears to be, they might be old goblinoid weapons that use some sort of smoke powder. This is an ancient technology in Eberron. They do not see you. And at your current rate, you are flying out of their sight and further afield to where there appears to be their ship, which is the Bombard ship. And it appears to be heavily defended by many of these creatures. And they've already set up defensive fortifications around the ship. This is a military organization. Do you want to fly closer to the ship? You will have to re-roll stealth and you could get shot.
Interesting.
Oh.
So, what do you think?
I think you were right. We have to prioritize Oak Blossom, so we shouldn't take unnecessary risks. It seems like maybe we can negotiate with these creatures if they're not hostile, but I don't know that we could try to salvage from this ship. It's too well guarded.
Okay. Maybe we try to fly past, see what they're shooting at, or what they're defending from. Try to find the other ship, maybe.
We thought we maybe saw the other ship. Is that right, Chris? When we were flying this direction?
You thought you might have... No, to the south of the Dragonhawk. Maybe maybe about a quarter mile. It looked like a ship that didn't look like a conch shell was crashed and looked much older than a fresh crash.
Oh, yeah. Let's go look at that one.
Also, what language well, I should say, what do I recognize what language they are yelling out, when they're giving commands and stuff?
You do. You can't make out the word, every single word, but you recognize it as common.
Okay.
You're hearing a lot of scallywag and get in lines. Okay.
Interesting.
As you fly back towards the Dragonhawk, so the rest of you see Phantom with its passengers flying and circling south. You see and fly over. Let me pull you onto this map. As you get closer, you see what appears to be a older ship that is crashed in some rocky area. Maybe it's a spelljamming ship, but you're not seeing anything that would be indicative. It could also be an airship. You're not sure.
Is there any do I see any alloy or any type of any precious metals, any precious materials on it at all?
It looks old and faded to the point of disrepair. If there is something in there, you'd have to fly down and take a look.
There's no creatures or anything about that we can see.
No, you're not seeing any sort of activity near this ship.
Okay.
Well,
Let's fly in.
yeah.
Okay. So you two fly in and fly down. Yep. And you land on the ship. It becomes clear and apparent as you begin to examine the ship that the canvas that is draped over the side used to be inflated with air.
So an airship.
Do you examine the lower levels? You're sensing a strange blue light emanating from the lower levels of the hull.
Do I hear any movement?
Make me a perception check. It can be public.
Okay.
Oh, massive.
Ooh. You hear what sounds like large rocks smacking into each other. From a distance of what in your ears tell you, well, whatever your hearing orifices are, cannot be in the hull of the ship. You're hearing this like 200 feet away, through the stairwell down into the hull.
Well, should we come back with the others? I don't. There's some kind of noise, but I don't know if it's a creature or.
No, I agree. I think our job was to scout. I think we get the others, and we salvage them. You're right about the other place. I don't think that we are looking for a fight before we are operational, and that is our priority. So yeah, let's go back and get Galtier and anybody else that we need.
Sounds good.
Back at the
I
abandoned
love the
fort.
music on this, by the way, Chris. We get switched to the map and it's like, wow. Starts spinning up the air and everything. It's crazy.
Wait, there's a sound effect when you get transferred from page to page?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't.
I've never heard it. I don't know what it
Really?
sounds like. I don't know.
As
what
soon
that
as I
sounds
went
like.
from one page, like I go to Harmony right now, it's a completely different soundtrack than whenever I go to the Fort Lineclaw.
Oh yeah, because there's auto playing stuff.
Yeah, the wind's whipping around.
Yep.
I thought it was
I
like
love that.
outside. I was like, gosh, is it really windy?
Jesus, this is
Oh
really
yeah,
windy
with the
outside today.
environment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got environmental stuff on here. Yeah. Okay. So you've done some scouting of 2 available paths.
Mm-hmm.
You have an idea of at least one entity and presence inside of this monstro-esque creature. You've gotten a game plan to work on your ship, but you still need to figure out what to do with the 3 major damage pieces. Rick tends to the wounds of those still suffering, helping patch people together. Your security team on watch for any threats coming down any of these choke points. Oak Blossom remains unconscious as the Dragonhawk lays shattered in front of this abandoned fort. We'll see next week how you guys handle this problem.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Dun, 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 dun. I cannot believe we crashed the ship. That is